Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm your co-host M to Dave, and I'm here, as always, with my other co-host MK Rio. What's going on, man?
What's good, everybody? Welcome to episode 58 of the podcast. We're joined today with special guest, Burrito Voorhees. How are you doing, Franco?
I'm doing all right. I'm just glad to be on.
Yeah, it's good to have
Thank
you.
thank you for coming on a short notice. We were going to interact with Cherney, but he could not make it. So
Yeah, he
we're-
had an emergency which he's going through.
correct. So we'll hopefully he's okay, and we get to talk to him in a future episode. So in the meantime, however, of course, we're happy to have Burrito Voorhees. Before I ask Burrito some questions, I want to ask you, Rio. I know you've been playing Mortal Kombat 1. In fact, we had a short set yesterday. Kind of give me some of your hot takes on the game. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What do you like? What don't you like? What bothers you? What doesn't bother you, etc. Because I'm really curious about what you have to say. Because you have obviously you played the game like during its first a month or so, then you quit. Now that you came back, almost like what two and a half years later, where do you stand? Like, what are your opinions?
Yeah, so let me start off by saying this. I did play MK1 in the beginning for the first month and a half, almost 2 months, but I couldn't stomach the game in the beginning because it was so scrubby and brain dead. It just turned me off the way the game was playing. Like, you had Raiden's doing down one, down one, down one, shocker into full combo, Sark's assist. You had Tanya smashing armor repeatedly. You had, the Kung Lao low head assist. Everybody's doing hard blockables. The Johnny, the characters, yeah. So I would just turn off the game. Like, I did really try to give it a shot in the beginning, but it just felt too scrubby and unenjoyable for me to play. So I just lost interest in it. Now that I'm coming back to it, like you said, 2.5 years later, I got back into MK1 2 weeks ago, and I did say a month ago, before the New Year's in December, I was like, if they ever release another patch for MK1, I'll download the game, give it a try. And they ended up doing that, so that's why I tried it 2 weeks ago. And I don't really know what character to play yet still. I'm kind of, it's just my second week getting back into it. And I went through all the characters. I settled on the character Omni-Man, which I don't even know the backstory on the character, just a random character I'm playing, because he has a really awesome fatality. Probably the best one in the game. Him, Ghostface, and Homelander, I think, are the top 3 best fatalities. So I'm playing Omni-Man and learning the game with him. I still don't understand what a lot of characters do. But I'll say this, to give NRS props first, before I go into the things I don't like, the game feels way better than it was the first 2 months. Like, the fact that they somehow turned the game around and recovered it from the joke it was in the beginning of the game, because now it kind of does feel like an actual playable fighting game, whereas in the first 2 months it was like literally a party game. It was just jokingly broken in the unfun and just terrible way. Obviously, I've been playing Kombat League for 2 weeks, and I mean, I find the game fun to play. It's just there's a lot of scrubby stuff in the game that is a turnoff, or it just seems like it's low effort stuff that's very annoying to stop and deal with. And I mean, I guess this isn't an MK1 issue because every NRS game has scrubby things in, or every MK game rather. But what I'm confused about is in this game, like, why they brought Fatal Blows back. I know we already talked about this before, but it's still something I don't like about the game. Why some of them still have pushback. Like, I played against a Homelander who did a Fatal Blow to me and pushed him back almost full screen. I played against a noob in Kombat League where I blocked his Fatal Blow, like, mid-screen away, and I couldn't punish it. Like, annoying things like that. I don't understand why they brought that back. Then I do think the standing movement's good, but the crouching movement is terrible, and I don't like that. I wish they would fix that. If they could fix... Like, the movement is pretty close to how good it could be in MK9. It's just the crouching movement's terrible. If they could tune that up, then it'd be very good, because the standing movement's really fun and enjoyable to move around in. It's just the crouching movement is horrendous, and I hope they fix that. And if not, because I don't know if they're going to patch this game anymore, but next MK game, I hope they improve on the movement, because I feel like this game being able to not be stuck and be in a clunky state when you're trying to move at a crouch would be a lot better. And then obviously my other gripes with the game, aside from the Fatal Blow, is, I mean, aside from the Fatal Blow and the clunky crouching movement, or the armor, how characters are doing like safe armor into cameo, or armor into you get hit by it, now you're launched in 30%, things like that. The throw loop combos are kind of crazy. It almost feels like MK11 crush and blow throws where Liu King will throw you, then you eat a combo, and then he does a knockdown next to you. Then you have to get strike throw again, and then they're gonna cameo combo again with Motaro, and that stuff's kind of annoying. I despise the up block mechanic. I think it's awful and the worst mechanic to have in this game, in my opinion. Don't like the delay wake up. Don't like the breaker. Not a fan of the clunky strings and slow animations and stuff. Sometimes it gets so clunky that if you drop a combo with these characters and it's still in animation of a string, they will get up from the ground and combo you because you're still in a string state. So I hope next MK game they get rid of the clunkiness on these strings and normals. Like, I don't know why when you do a string in this game, you're stuck in like 1,000 frames of animation. Like, it just is a little off-putting to have that. And yeah, I mean, my other gripes are, I guess, some of the down one range on pokes are obnoxious. Like Melina, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang. They're just very annoying to deal with. And yeah, I guess that's all the stuff I dislike about the game, but I do think the game is fun. But it's got a lot of scrubby stuff. But it's 10 times better than it was in the beginning, so I'll give Inros props on that.
King Jr. is somebody who's been playing the game pretty much consistently, right? You have traveled for the game. What do you think? What do you think about some of Rio's hot takes on his revisit of Mortal Kombat 1?
I think obviously his experience at launch compared to now, I think, is very valid. Like the characters having like ease of access, like high power levels, like Raiden's pre-patch Storm Cell and like pre-patch Cyrax, which I miss pre-patch Cyrax, but I'm sure he probably doesn't. But the clunkiness of the strings, I mean, that's one of my gripes on the game. That's fair. Like, I don't think most strings are normal. It should take lots of animation to finish. The up block, I'm not a big fan of. Sorry, my cat just made some noise, but yeah,
Wait,
I'm
you're
not
not
a
a
big
fan of the
of
up block?
No,
Bro, I thought I was the only person in the world that hated up block in this game. That's what it seems like.
I just want my traditional anti-air jabs back, but yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with the up block stuff. I don't like how some characters that are top tier are also easy to use, like Homelander. His game plan literally revolves around an unreactable, almost full screen command grab, and all you have to do is just input back forward 2, and you have these options off that diabolical dash, and it's just a mix up. And then if you get grabbed, it's, launch with Pharaoh or some other cameos, and the like you said, the fatal blow, like pushback, is still super annoying. I'd rather have X-rays again, and I do think like a lot of the screw neutral tools, like or I guess the scrubby stuff. Like, I know some people, their go-to statement is screw neutral into assist or ambush, and that's like the game. Which, I mean, I feel like that's in the nature of tag assist fighters, so I don't mind that so much, but I do hate how some characters have way too easy, like their game plans are just way too easy to enforce. Like I said, like with Homelander, T1000 pre-patch was super annoying. He had like this 6 hitting string that could be a tick throw at any point in launch, like because they gave these command grab characters command grabs that could tick throw off anything. And that's coming from me who loves grapplers, but yeah, it's just some of the things that you went on about that I can like agree with. In the pokes, I think I don't mind the poke system too much. I prefer MKX's pokes aside from the low profiling that they used to have. I do like the pokes being safe on block, but it is kind of cool to see some characters be able to punish them. So I don't mind the poke system too much. It is nice that they don't low profile like they used to. So definitely props to NRS on the hurt box adjustments on the pokes, like down 4s and down 3s.
Let me say this: it's not. I think most of the pokes are fine. It's just only the down ones of certain characters, like Melina's, Sub-Zero's, Liu Kang's. Like, those characters have those like far-reaching down ones. Those are, in my opinion, are obnoxious. That's it. The rest of them seem like they're actually really well designed. I feel like down one should be stubby.
Well, I mean, I use Garrus, and his. If you ever seen his down one, it kind of is
but
triggering.
let me also say this to specify. I'm talking about the 7 frame down ones that come out and go far. Like if you have a Quan Chi down one that has far range, but it's 9 frames, okay, that's fair. You're sacrificing startup for range. Okay, you can down one me from far. But characters like Melina that have 7 frame down ones that go super far, that stuff is obnoxious.
I mean, but that's not even why she's strong. Like Franco, you would agree, right? Like the best thing about Melina is that at any point she can essentially, she can roll you and then potentially set up a hard to blockable situation. I'm not saying her down one is bad, but I'm also not saying that her down one is very good because in certain matchups she actually gets hurt by the you know frame advantage on block. So what makes Melina super strong in my view is the fact that she can bull roll you. She has the most damaging non-launching overhead in the game. It does like 11.5%, slightly more. That's huge. Most overheads of their kind. Raiden's in fact just got buffed. It went from like 8 to 10%. Hers still does the most out of anybody. She just plays Mortal Kombat 1 very well. She can be paired with multiple assists, and she can be very strong. But again, it's mostly based on bull roll, overhead, size in the neutral are actually decent. They're not great, but they're okay. I think that's kind of what makes her strong, and as well as her high damage output. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I do think it's fine to have some down ones like be like pretty good. Like Ferrotor and MKX, like the Lackey variation had like the extended down one. That was kind of cool. Like some down ones I think are fine to be like different. Um just for identity purposes and some characters, but yeah, I feel like that's more of a minor thing, I guess. Like maybe. That's just me.
It's a huge annoyance for me. I think out of the Melinas I played so far, I know I haven't played the good players yet, but I'm talking about just Combat League. Her down one is the most annoying thing about her, and then after that, it's I guess her ball roll neutral. That you get hit by 8, you lose 50% just because she decided to roll randomly.
No, yeah, that's definitely we played a little set yesterday, and I think a couple of times I randomly ball rolled and I did like 50% with Fatal Blow, and I feel like that's essentially what makes her strong, right? Because that makes you hesitate in the neutral, like. Well, I don't know if they're going to ball roll, so I best I get a whole block, right? And obviously, if you hold block, she can dash and throw, she can dash in overhead, etc. Right?
It's crazy how rewarding just doing a YOLO thing in neutral is to me. That's like absurd.
Well, that's one thing I think both of you kind of touched upon. If you're looking to play a game,
But hold on, getting hit by a random Melina ball roll in this game is like getting hit by 2 random Sub-Zero crushing blows in MK11. It's like, what? Why did I lose 50?
Correct. Yes.
Like it's like just very scrubby design in my opinion.
I don't think it's that bad. Like at least you have to do the combo and execute it. But and if you block it, most of the time you're getting a punish. But again, I feel like that is part of the nature of the tag assist fighters.
It's super annoying when they have breaker too. On top of that, they're like, "Hello, I'm gonna randomly roll, take 50, but if you guess right, I'm break." I hate that. Like gel out of how they get the.
I know you've never been a fan of the breaker either, so I guess that's another disagreement we may have.
Like that. It promotes barbaric gameplay like that, and then removes the consequence. It's like so. Like, please get rid of breaker next time, KK. Get rid of it.
Well, let's talk about what they should get rid of.
If you want to be a crazy YOLO person, okay, that's fine. But let me punish you for doing that shit. None of this. Oh, I'm crazy, but wait, I'm actually not that crazy because I have breaker. I'm like, no, if you want to be crazy, then be crazy. Do it without breaker.
Well, let me just touch upon the footsies aspect. I think kind of both of you have already mentioned this. If you think this game is two honest gentlemen duking it out in the mid range, that's not this game. So this game is not for you if you think that's what this game is. In fact, I would argue that footsies are strong on this game. The general control, not necessarily the buttons. You have more control in this game than you do like in an MKX game. But for the most part, this is not it's not Street Fighter, right? Like this is more like Marvel, right? You just kind of like throw stuff out and you cover yourself with assists, and that's the nature of the game. I think a lot of people's problem with this game is not necessarily because it's a bad game. It's just that people are not used to assist-based games, and neither was I. I was like super confused, but now I kind of understand how how the game is meant to be played, and I still complain about it, but I'm just kind of used to it by now. Burrito, do you agree or am I off here?
I think the nature of the game, like with the like I said, it just comes with tag assist fighters. I feel like it's definitely not as honest as like some other games, like maybe Street Fighter or like maybe even MK11 to some degree. Like there's definitely a lot of dishonest gameplay and just hectic things going on. Um, I don't know. I'm kind of used to it for the most part. Uh, my only issue is like like I said, Homelander was like one of my examples. I feel like I mean, Cyrex might not be the easiest character, but some characters do just feel like a little too easy and rewarding at the same time. But yeah, I do think there's a lot of dishonesty in this game, and I don't really mind it as much.
Yeah, neither do I. I feel like that's the way to go when you make a game like this. I feel like in just as a contrast, MK11 kind of had a very low damage for most characters. And if I'm like playing Jade or even a top tier character like Cetrion, and I'm dealing with a with a crushing, fatal blow slide, for example, like I really can't. The Sub Zero player is going to do more damage to me with that crushing blow than I will do ever in a combo. Especially when they have breakaway and I'm supposed to do like a laundry to down two. So I'd rather play a game like this. It's just like, okay, you can do your unsafe stuff, and yes, some of it is, as Rio would say, scrubby. However, just know you will get combo for 50% if I block this. Like I feel like that kind of uh, regulates a lot of the high damage output regulates a lot of the quote unquote scrubby stuff and makes people hesitant to randomly bow roll. Yeah, they can get that damage, but they can also get punished and lose the round, and which does result in a volatile game. But I prefer that any day of the week to what we had for Mortal Kombat 11, even MK9. Some of the low tiers with very poor damage. I feel like this game I like the high power levels, and I feel like that's the way moving forward. Even if it is a little bit again scrubby, I don't care. I don't want I don't want low power levels like MK11 ever again, or even MK9. Right? Like if you like consider like most of the rosters very weak in comparison to like the top 10. Rio, what say you?
Sorry, but I can't keep using the same excuse, and I'm tired of hearing the same excuse over and over. People going like, "Well, you ignore all these issues and problems with the game because it's an assist game." An assist game, no, because they really wanted this to be an assist game, then they should probably let you do more with your assist. Like, why can't I use my assist to do like a push block? Why can't I use my assist to do like defensive maneuvers or things like that? You can't. They're just there to make you walk back 5-10 seconds, wait to get your cameo back, and then do some YOLO shit and then try to bank off with your assist. And if it works, okay, cool, you get a big combo. If not, well, let me just walk back and wait for the meter to refill and then do it all over again. That's what it seems like. And keeping, I don't know, like keeping the same excuse of, well, it's an assist game, so never really talk about the problems and keep ignoring it, I think is not doing good for the game discussion.
But who do you think is ignoring it? I think the problems with the game, I think at this point, are very well
okay, when there's like an issue, the response should not be, well, it's an assist game. What does that even mean? What does that say? Because it's an assist game, it can be designed to be better, or has to have these faults in place.
You have to keep the context in mind. It's a game that's no longer getting support, right? So they're not going to add all these features. Which, by the way, I wouldn't mind a push block. I've been arguing about a push block since for like 2 years. But obviously, at this point, we know what the game is and what it isn't. You either accept that or you do not. So there's really no point about ranting about it. Not that you shouldn't say your opinions. We do this podcast because I think you have a lot of valuable stuff to say. But it's like I'm not going to say, hey, add this new mechanic. Well, we know they're not going to do it, not because they don't want to, but because funding for the game has ceased and it will not happen. So while you're right in principle, like in practice, it will just not happen. That's kind of the argument that I'm making, which again I believe is realistic.
Right, but I'm getting more to the point of, if the game has faults or issues, we should let people like understand what they are instead of walking on eggshells and being like, it's an assist game and nothing to see here. Like, no, I think we got to be real and talk about the problems and unenjoyable things about the game, like getting hit by a random Melina ball roll and losing 50. If that's what good game design is and what fighting games should be in the future, then that seems like just a terrible road to go down. I think they need to rework the next game from the ground up.
Well, Melina doing 50 of a ball roll has nothing to do with assists. She can do that without any assists. So I don't think that's the issue. But But speaking of assists, like the game will naturally play a certain way when you have assists, right? Marvel players know this. There's a reason why
Can we
you
please
know you
stop
can.
comparing this game to Marvel? It's not like Marvel at all. It's really not.
I, it's
I'll tell
not.
you what this game is like. I'll tell you what this game is like because people keep throwing around this game, Marvels. It's not. It's MK1 is not like any of those games. You probably never even played Marvel. This is what MK1 actually is like for real. MK1 is like playing MK11 towers a time with assists. That's what the game feels like. Feels like they literally thought MK11 towers a time was such a good mode and amazing. We could play that, do all these assist combos and dumb stuff that they decided to make a full game about it. So MK1, if you want to compare it to any other game, is like playing MK11 with towers a time. That's what it feels like.
Well, King, you jump in. What do you stand on this topic as far as I guess what's acceptable, what's tolerable for an assist game? I think this is pretty normal. I do again. I'm not suggesting this game plays like Marvel, but the basic concept, like doing something, calling an assist. I mean, it's as Marvel can get. This is to me very very obvious.
I mean, I guess I see what Rio's trying to say about like like just justifying it as it's an assist game, but like uh compared to other assists, yeah, like there are probably like a lot of mechanics maybe we're lacking, like the push block or like hyper jump or super jump, whatever. Uh, I do think like honestly, I think some cameos like could have been like higher like power level wise, but like uh yeah, it does give off like the Tower of Times vibe from MK11 and oh
Do you remember
shit, hold
that?
on.
Do you remember that, Franco? Because I feel like I know Dave didn't play Towers Time, but Towers Time there were like towers you could play, and then you'd be giving an assist character. Like if you had whatever character, you press down on the controller stick to do one assist, then back control stick a different assist, up on the control stick a different assist, and forward do a different one. You could do all these different combos. Put Retros fart on the screen, throw like it was like kind of crazy. So it feels like they decided to go that route to make a full game about.
Yeah, I did play some Towers of Time in MK11 for like grinding for like some skins and stuff. Uh, yeah, I think they could have did more. Like my gripe with the way they did the cameo system was it felt like your characters were like half baked, and like the cameo was supposed to be the finish your character or like to kind of fill in the
Yes, and that's what it
half.
feels like. Look, I don't mean to interrupt you. Sorry, but Dave keeps talking about high power levels, this and that, bro. The characters don't even seem that crazy. It literally seems like they are banking on picking one cameo and then abusing one obnoxious thing they have. That's how the game is. It's not about, whoa, who do you want to play? This character does all this crazy. These characters aren't even that crazy. It's just the cameo that you paired them with. You find one obnoxious, scrubby thing to do, and then you keep enforcing that and using it over and over in a match. That's what the game feels like so far.
Yeah, King Junior, go ahead and finish your thought before I jump in.
It's I don't know. Yeah, I know it's weird. There's like some things that are high power level ish, like in some areas, but like you could tell they were careful in other areas. So like, uh, I would say like I guess it's like not as crazy as other tag assist fighters, but
Yeah, and by the way, some characters aren't
I,
even completed cameo wise. Like Kano, all these other characters have forward cameo, down cameo, back cameo, up cameo. Kano's like, you only get 3 of them. They never gave me a whatever cameo I'm missing from a direction. Like some of them aren't even completed yet.
yeah, it's weird. Like there is some areas where you like they're like Movado. Like I think he did get a lot of nerfs, but like which I'm not for. I don't like how they nerfed him so many times, but like some cameos just got way more love than others. I feel like Sonya was like one of the more like underpowered cameos. Shujinko like is still outside of Conan. Like Shujinko is still like kind of low tier. Uh, he's a cool cameo, but he's just very weak outside of Conan. Um, yeah, it's strange, honestly. Like I guess it depends on the character. Like some characters have tools that just synergize well with some cameos. Like you could do like Raiden's teleport into double sector missile 50/50, and then if it lands, it launches, and if it doesn't, then he's safe. So like I don't know. It's kind of it's like I guess not everybody has like something that's powerful. Like some characters just synergize better with the cameo system than others, but maybe it's just because they're more complete than other base characters. Maybe.
So let me
Well,
say
it
this.
is.
I'm real quick. I'm not a fan of characters having. I'm sorry, cameos giving you a different HP or the side. I feel like the HP should be way heavier on the character over the cameo. Like, okay, if this Mavado's a problem with Havoc or Homeland, whoever is using him, then instead of being like, oh, well, we got to nerf this cameo because this one character synergizes too good with him, then you guys should probably fix that one character if he's a problem with some of these cameos instead of affecting the cameo. Because then you have other characters trying to use a cameo, and now they have less HP because that one top tier was too good with that one cameo. I don't think that's the way that they should be doing it with health-wise.
Well, that's kind of like the inherent flaw, right, of the system is, when you change one, let's say you, for the sake of the argument, you're trying to fix Havoc Mavado, right? And you nerf Mavado. Well, now you might have screwed a mid-tier character using Mavado, right? Or even a low-tier character. While simultaneously, Havoc is still probably fine because, maybe he's almost just as strong with another cameo. Maybe they buffed another cameo, which is literally what they did with Striker, right? So it's kind of like, that's like, there's always that issue. You can never really fit the puzzles together because you're always going to screw somebody. And I think that's kind of like the inherent flaw with the system. And I will accept that argument. I think it's not just the right argument. We have seen that what they have done. Just a quick example. Speaking of the first 2 months of the game, remember Lohab being +2, right? Well, it was fine with Kitana. She was never that strong, but was it fine with Cage? Well, we know it wasn't, especially considering that kind of had perfect synergy with his forward three. He could always jail you. You kind of force the armor, etc., etc. Right? So it was okay for her to have that tool, but not necessarily for a character who already had oppressive offense. And I think that's really the dilemma, right?
Yeah, it's just, I guess it's the byproduct of now they're balancing every character by having access to every character has access to 20 variations. So you have to make sure all these 20 different variations, every character in the game can use them without becoming broken with one of them. Whereas in the games before that, like MKX, MK11, characters had their unique pool of 3 variations to choose from. But this game, it's everybody can choose any of the 20 variations to play.
Correct. I do want to touch upon this argument with the up lock. I think up lock is one of the best mechanics.
The worst mechanic ever. Never want to see it again.
Hold on, let me say my piece, and you can respond.
Wait, what did you say to start off with up lock?
I think it's one of the best defensive mechanics NRS has ever designed because of how strong it is defensively. This
you guys
game,
can see my face right now.
This game, if you guys play it, you're gonna be fighting against something like Peacemakers, like People's Elbow Drop or Litara's launching dive kicks that you cannot react to. To a lesser extent, there's like Sector's double jump. A lot of that stuff would be incredibly strong without without an up block. The fact that the game has an up block really helps anti-airs. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fair enough. Look, you like your MK9 anti-airs, that's fine. Please respect my opinion. I like this game's anti-airs just as much because it does really help, again, with the anti-airs, but it also helps with, with punishing overheads that would otherwise be unpunishable. If you up block an overhead, usually adds 10 more recovery frames. Again, that favors defense. And to me, the real issue with this game is not like any of the stuff that people usually talk about, aside from the cameo system. It's the fact that offense is very, very strong. Zoning is very weak for the most part, with some exceptions. I think the game needs more armor, more invincibility attacks, etc., etc. When you have something like Cyrax in the game, Homelander, Reiko, etc., etc. So up block is a fresh breath of
Bro, are you trying to ruin the game for the remaining players that like it? The game needs more armor. What do you mean the game needs more armor? It's one of the worst things about the game.
Well, that's your opinion. I like armor. Go ahead and give your thoughts.
Well, up block, in my opinion, is awful for the fact that it's way too easy to do. You hold the block, you tap up. You give the controller to anybody off the street and they could do that. And you expect us to get hype when we watch a tournament match and somebody jumping in with their floaty balloon jump, and then you decide to block and tap up and you get a 50 full combo? Are you joking? What a terrible mechanic. How about instead of making the game super brain dead, these mega easy inputs, you actually design characters with unique anti-airs that you have to actually pull off and learn the combo after. How the hell in this game I get more damage tapping up when I'm blocking when someone jumps in rather than me actually anti-airing them with a standing 3 or standing 1? They get more combo for doing the easy option, but the harder option you get less damage. It makes literally no sense. It's like they didn't even thoroughly test the game before they released it. They just decided to throw random ass mechanics and be like, people want anti-air, so let's give them the most barbaric, brain-dead, caveman type anti-air so that they could, that way anybody could do it. And the crazy thing is, this input being so easy also comes out by accident. Like sometimes I'll play Omni-Man and I'm blocking and I'll try to jump after block and I get a random up block because I forget some of the mechanics are so easy to do that they come out by accident if you rub the controller in the wrong way. Like you do a mechanic. They need to first make the mechanic a lot harder to do. Second of all, they need to remove the short up block. Get rid of that. If you want to do up block so much and you love the mechanic so much, then let me see you up block and stay in the air for 2 seconds. Do the long one. That's the only one that should stay. Get rid of the short one. Short one is dumb. I'm playing against people, they're like scared to actually do up block. They're committing to like the short up block because they're like, oh my god, if he jumps and reads me going for this, he can actually land and throw punish me or sweep punish me. But if I time it at the sweet spot where I do the short up block, right where he's at a jump, time it so that the last active frame hits my up block, I get a full combo. But if they land, I won't get punished. That is dumb and scrubby. Like they need to remove that. In my opinion, the best way for them to fix up block, get rid of the short one, make it be the long one only. If you want to up block, then you have to commit to it.
King Jr., what do you think?
I think that's a pretty fair criticism, specifically for up block. Like the only time I really the only thing I enjoy about up block really is like you can punish some overhead strings, like strings with overheads in them, but I could live without up block. I'm not really
how about
wanting
this?
To see it come back again.
How about this? To keep what you want.
Specifically talking about up block though.
Yeah, to keep what you want because you like the short up block to punish overheads and strings. What they could do is this: you can only do short up block off a reversal. If you're blocking a string, it'll let you do that. But in neutral, you cannot do short up block. You have to commit to the full one or not.
No.
It's pretty fair, I think.
What do you mean?
If you did something to it.
Okay, Dave, what's your take on this then? You actually think up block is good the way it is? Like it's a great mechanic that makes the game better?
It's an exceptional mechanic. And for a guy who spent, I don't know, like the last 5 years complaining about like the lack of anti-airs in any of the NRS games, I just find it highly surprising. And I don't say this
is the worst way to do an anti-air, my guy. You're not even timing them doing anything. You're just blocking and tapping up. Who asked for brain dead anti-airs that take no execution or timing to do? I wasn't asking for that. Hey, NRS, can you give us a new mechanic where we don't have to actually time or do an anti-air? Like, no. What are you talking about? Who was even asking for that?
You could still be punished, right? And besides...
but they can't, though. If they're doing a sweet spot short up block, they can time it where you land. They'll be able to either tech your throw or not get punished by low. Did you not understand what I said earlier? That's why short up block needs to go.
It depends on the timing and stuff, right? I think if you're gonna have certain characters in the game, and by the way, I'm a peacemaker player, so this is a peacemaker. If you're gonna have something like literally like jumps on top of your head, in which a jab is never gonna do you any good anyway, or even an invincible deep dragon punch type move, then you need something like an up block. And or
get this, what if we're playing a fighting game and they actually design anti-airs that function properly? Imagine that. You can go back to the Stone Age, fighting it 30 years ago, they have functioning anti-airs. But you're telling me NRS new games can't do that? That'd be too much. We have to have an up block to stop people from jumping. Like, are you serious?
Well, it sounds like you're enamored.
There's some good anti-airs in this game. People showed me Liu Kang is a really good anti-air. It's like a DP move with the air invincibility. Why can't we have more moves like that for characters? Where it's like unique moves that function as anti-airs. We don't need an up block to anti-air people.
Well, it depends how the game is designed, right? Like, again, you're never going to jab the Taro's dive kick. It's just not going to happen. Up block has probably been added because of those characters, right? Like because of Peacemaker, because of
Bro,
Natara.
You don't need to jab everything that jumps at you. Some characters dive kicking, yes, you have to hold that. Some characters would be jumping.
Well, in the modern fighting game, uh, atmosphere in which zoning is very weak. Most defense is very weak. Thank God that we have something to defend ourselves against, and I will always protect. And I hope it returns to the next. Honestly, Injustice One is
Well, maybe if the
it
movement was a
cannot.
little bit better and not clunky, we'd have better zoning. I mean, Dave, you got to understand the game we're playing here. They need to, if you
No,
want to have games with better stuff, the
it's
base
better.
needs to be improved on.
No, zoning is bad because people don't want it, not because oh my god, this movement. I mean, in theory, I agree with you, but we all know why zoning is bad. Uh, I mean, we have people still complaining about MK11
Also, let
zoning
me
for
say
God.
this. I'm not trying to sound like an MK1 hater because I don't hate the game. I think it's actually fun. I've been enjoying it. There's just some scrubby things about it, and I think the game could be improved on. That's it. I don't think anybody should feel bad for liking MK1 or playing or any of that. If you like it, then more power to you. If you think it's fun, then you have the right to that opinion. I'm just saying the things that I don't agree with in the game and some of the stuff I really don't like.
No, I don't think you're a hater. I just feel like there's a little bit of inconsistency between like your prior opinions, especially about MK11 and also
I
MKX, in
never
which
asked
you
for a
can.
brain dead parry anti-air mechanic. I've always asked for anti-airs
I
to be
feel
unique for characters.
like you guys know how in previous podcast episodes, like there was no defensive mechanics in MKX, so like armor was the next best
There
thing,
was
and that was like
actually. It's just that it was
that
shit
was
though.
like
They had block breaker, but we've been asking day one to make it one bar. They never did.
yeah, like if block breaker was more like if it wasn't so expensive or whatever, and like we didn't have to resort to
They could have
armor as
made
our
block
defensive
breaker and MKX
option,
good
like
like this. They could have just made it so it costs one bar to do, and it drains all of only your run meter and not your opponent's. They could have just done that, and it would have been usable and not broken or dumb. And people would have probably used it every once in a while.
I feel like up block is almost like the equivalent. Like instead of giving us traditional anti-airs, they're like, hey, we're going to put an up block, and I feel like that was their decision on how to solve like the jump in issue. And I don't agree with the way to solve it with up block. I would just rather have the traditional anti-airs, but since we got the up block, we might as well just we'd rather have it than not, I guess, in this case. But yeah, I feel like it's like a similar scenario where like you couldn't add like traditional anti-airs and MKX, just use your guys' armor. That's like the next best thing. Like I'm not saying it's the right thing, but that's just kind of how it felt like it was treated relative to like MKX's time.
Yeah, but it makes the game also less enjoyable to play as in like so scrubby. Like again, we're supposed to watch tournaments and get hype over someone doing an uplock, the easiest input ever created to execute, probably in the history of NRS games. It's just not good design.
Well, we will agree to disagree, and I think another topic in which we will probably come to the same conclusion is I think zoning. I think the way, obviously not so much in MK11, in which zoning at some point was very good, and they ended up nerfing a lot of the characters, in which we already discussed on one of the previous podcasts. I feel like in MK1, the way zoning works is essentially you have a really solid projectile, whether it's like a blood ball or Kung Lao's, instant aerial hat toss, to a lesser extent, Peacemaker's projectiles, and you kind of pair that out with a solid uh, armor move. And I don't mind that. I think it's okay as long as the armor move kind of has counterplay. I feel like that's the future of zoning in NRS games. What do you guys think?
I'll let
You want
Frederick
to
go
go first,
first.
Rio?
No,
Oh,
you go
okay,
ahead.
I'll go first. Me and David off the podcast debated like if whether a peer's owner can truly exist or not, and like I get where he's kind of coming from. Like I don't know if you necessarily need armor, but you definitely need you more than likely probably need something that's other than a projectile or some kind of full screen presence move. Like you probably could have like maybe an unreactable knocking down overhead or something. Uh, like you need some other tool to complement your zoning, or maybe like a better like I guess like yeah, some form of offense that doesn't always have to be armor though. I feel like unless your zoning is seriously that like just that like dead shot level, like pre-patch dead shot level OP or something, like you probably need some other form of offense to complement your zoning, whether it's armor one unreactable 50-50, or not 50-50, I'm sorry, knocking down option, or something like some kind of grab maybe.
Well, I feel like before I let Rio opine, I feel like Peacemaker is a very well designed zone. You can control the air, right, with the whistle thing. He has a mid hitting projectile that's very fast, has a cooldown, right, so you cannot spam it. So there's that. He's a solid high projectile. He can switch sides with with the anti gravity. The only reason he's not much better is because he has a crap armor move that's a high. And if that were made a mid, I think he would like immediately jump at least one tier. Now I don't do not believe that he would be scrubby. Again, I don't even like that word. I don't even know what that word means anymore. But like the point is, I don't think he would be easy to use and easy to win with.
Hold on, you know what the word scrubby means.
Well, before we'll finish with that conversation, let's just finish this conversation about zoning, and we'll get into the definition of scrubby. The point is, I think um, that's really the only thing. He probably has just enough offense to make it work with cameos, which fair enough. That's the game. I'm not gonna complain about it, but I feel like uh, if his EX torpedo only, EX his quote unquote EX cycle crusher like hit mid, I think it would be a lot better, and maybe you can make 2-2-4 not flawless block punishable. I think those two changes alone would add a lot to the character, make him a lot better. So I don't think Quan Chi's another example, and maybe we should avoid that topic for King Junior's sanity, but I feel like they over nerf Sector for no reason. Of course, he should build meter on with projectiles. It's just craziness. Why was that ever changed? Just nonsense. So zoning is kind of
why it was changed. I'll tell you why it was changed. Because the character with a certain cameo is doing a safe armor launcher, which is the problem. So because the character has something like that, so scrubby, now they have to tone the character in other areas that probably don't need to be toned down. But because that dumb obnoxious thing exists, it needs to be touched on. That's the problem.
Well, before I give my opinion again, King Junior, your turn.
I think it was pretty like harsh of a nerf, honestly. Like not being able, like traditionally, you still would build meter with any other special move on whiff. I think it's pretty like harsh of a nerf, to be honest. I think it was way too heavy of a nerf that she didn't need. And yeah, I get it. She had the armor and the teleport, but if that was such an issue, like if her meter build was such an issue, I think you should just directly nerf like they nerfed the damage scaling on the armor, like launcher with Motaro, I think twice. Like I think the damage she gets off of it is more than fair. I think they just over nerfed it. In my opinion, I think you should always build special or meter off your specials on whiff. I think that's like almost a core mechanic that's been like a thing since MK9. But like specifically with Sector, they were like, nah, she can't do that. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of strange and too harsh of a nerf.
Yeah, I have always thought that she's overrated anyway, because I really don't think that she has that good screen control. The problem with Rio's talking point is that people are going to complain about zoning no matter what. So you might as well just nerf the projectiles, give the character some kind of functioning armor, a little bit of offense. Really, I mean, essentially any character, any zoning one who has been good or who hasn't even been good, like really wants to follow that formula, right? Like Quan Chi really wants to zone, call armor, and mix you up. Like essentially, Kung Lao does that, right? With the missile, has armor. Sector used to kind of do it better. Pre-patch, the epitome of probably the best zoning that that Mortal Kombat 1 has ever had was, pre-patch Peacemaker. What did he do? Zoned, armor, in and out. Like, I'm not saying every character needs to play like that. Obviously, you would limit, but like essentially every character kind of wishes they could do that because that's what's actually effective in the game. Because we know they're not gonna design a Freddy who keeps you all full screen away. Not with the modern community, or any of the any of the modern FGC in any fighting game, right? So I think I'm just trying to be reasonable, trying to keep it real, and the past zoning, even when it was good design, I think Freddy was a good design character. We're not going to see stuff like that. I just don't think so. Rio, what do you think?
I mean, but really, is it that the community hates zoning, like you're making it seem, or is it because they just are not a fan of the scrubby, easy to use zoning characters that NRS usually does from the past.
You linked me to a video in which somebody complained about Sub-Zero's aerial axe in Mortal Kombat 11 and called it like the game cancerous. And like, yeah, I think I've seen enough.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
that's
need to
one
see.
person out of the community. What I'm saying is, are the zoning characters that NRS has designed in the past, are they really like what should be modeled in the future, or do you think they could do a better job?
They have
'Cause I
done a
don't know
much
about
better
you. I
job.
don't think a lot of people got hyped when they were seeing MK9 Cabal do instant air fireballs that are super easy to do repeatedly. I think that just turned people off.
Well, yeah, that's why most of the aerial
And you wonder why it's
projectile.
been removed. It's not because they were creating these amazing creative zoning characters, because it was just usually NRS zoning is like this. You spam one projectile barely in recovery and you rinse repeat it. So your opponent has to sit there and get in, and then that's pretty much it. Now, I'm not saying Cabal zoning is overpowered, but to a lot of people, if you don't know how to move an MK9 to get around that, you're going to be stuck on that, and it's going to be very annoying for you. So you have to learn the movement system in and out to be able to get in on that and play footsies and move back. And meanwhile, the other person just has to spam the one input over and over. That's what, I guess, turns people off with zoning. So NRS, because I guess they've been struggling to make creative, fun zoners that take skill, they've kind of just been like, you know what, let's just chill on the zoning for a bit and maybe design characters that can do a little bit of runaway, a little bit of projectiles, but not overbearing to the point where, you know, it makes people angry.
Yeah, I think that's good.
And what's funny, like Cabal, I'm talking about Cabal, there was even more brain dead zoners than Cabal and MK9. Kenshi, how hard was he to zone with? You back four too. If they get anywhere near you, you armor, and then you have meter do it again. Rinse, repeat. Like,
I don't think he was that easy to use, but that's just my opinion. Maybe.
I mean, he had some tricky
Well,
matchups like Kung Lao and stuff where you had to, but like against some of the characters, you would just back four two, mash and footsies, and that's all you needed really.
Well, yeah, the armor was obviously much stronger.
I feel like Cabal's zoning, like zoning with Cabal and MK9 wasn't as easy as some like zoners that they introduced after Cabal. Like you had to have your gas blast pretty low. That way, like the female characters especially couldn't dash in as easily. And obviously, if you got like a backwards jump punch on accident, they're gonna get in on your zoning. Or if you're fighting a character that has like a full screen presence or something, like Cyrax landed a net on the time you messed up a gas blast. Like, I don't think it's like brain dead easy. Excuse my voice
Well, that's because
crack.
the
But
input bug, but the problem with Cabal is the bug
Yeah,
training was so
I
long,
don't-
you
I
could
don't
just do
think that was
back
entirely-
up back to get it out. You could just do back up back to get it out. You
yeah,
have
I
to
mean,
actually time it in the air like you did in UMK3.
I don't think that's always the input bug though. I mean, I feel like some people genuinely do like just mess it up sometimes, but I don't think it's as easy as like executing pre-patch dead shots like Risk Cannon. I think we could all agree that Cabal's a little easier, and there's not like as much leniency with his zoning compared to like some like old or other forms of zoning that we saw after Cabal.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, in zoners in general, is the easiest thing to do with Cabal in that game was zone, ironically, compared to his other stuff.
I don't know. I beg to differ. I don't think he's a easy to use character. I just think the game was obviously so unbalanced. There was no reason not to learn him and essentially avoid all bad matchups. I think it's a combination of stuff. What I will agree on, I think we kind of all agree on, is the fact that we don't want like a character who just does pew pews all day. I think that's almost always a problem. Results in matchup issues, ruins the experience for the casual player, and even lower intermediate players. But I think at this point they kind of know that, and that's why they haven't.
I
They
feel like
really haven't.
you could
since.
do a zoner that spans projectiles, but they have to be. You can only have one of them in the game. You can't have more than one of them. Just that game plan to spam projectiles, and they have to be done very carefully. Like, and those are gonna sound crazy, but I feel like the best zoner I've played, or I'm sorry, the most personal fun zoner I've played in any Mortal Kombat game where you spam one projectile over and over was Serena from Armageddon. I think the way that they did her in that game was really good. She had access to these very fast projectiles, but they did like 2% damage and like barely 1% chip. So it was hard to just win off just doing them, but they were like annoying zoning. I think that's the way you should do it if you're going to do it. But there can only be one character that does that. You can have more than one because then it's too much.
Yeah, you kind of have to limit the
But like if they
archetype.
could revisit how Serena played in MK Armageddon, that would be perfect. You want to have a zoner spans projectiles? Okay, you could play her, but this is how her projectiles would work. They would do 2% on hit, so they're like literally the down ones do the same damage as getting hit by a projectile. They would build the lowest meter out of all of them, and they would also lose to other projectiles in the game normally. But they would be very fast, spammable, but there's a lot of counterplay around it, and you can't win off just doing them alone. It would just be something part of our game plan.
No, absolutely. We keep talking about projectiles. One of my favorite designs is, something like a poison from Street Fighter Five. You use like the whip. It's not full screen. It's like a kind of like a stance. You can whip you mid, low, high. Like high meaning as an anti-air. I would love to see something like that. That's what I thought I was like Melina was going to be when I saw like the half screen size. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. She gets to be a mid screen zoner. She gets to equip the Kung Lao, low hat. So that kind of gives her some, full screen presence, but not at all times. It's on a cooldown. That's the type of character I would, then I'm curious that maybe we can nerf some of the stuff, her damage, the roll.
So
maybe
you can't have that because they're down one. That's the sacrifice. Now I understand why Melina's sides don't go full screen, because their down one goes half screen.
Franco, can you tell this fool that's not the case? That's not
No,
what
I get
it.
All that range went into her down one.
I know. She doesn't have full screen side. Like it's not because of down one. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I would love to see a mid-range, kind of like 3/4 of the screen zoning character. I think that would be significantly more interesting than even like a Serena type spamming design. I've been begging NRS, pleading, please design something like this. If not for this game,
had that. It was Kenshi and MK9, bro. That's literally the perfect character for that.
No,
You wall people out. Like,
well,
no, but you're making it
exactly.
seem like NRS has never done that before, bro. That's literally what Kenshi was in MK9. He walled everybody out by like a few characters, and you cannot play footsies or approach him. He just would wall you out.
Yeah,
and
well, I think
he probably shouldn't have armor in MK9. Like once you got in, he should have been super weak.
Yeah, exactly. So the design is there. I think they kind of need to repeat the design and kind of rebalance the design, right? But we all agree, we would like to see more of that and less of the pew pew stuff. But let me end this conversation on a slightly different note that may not be related to Mortal Kombat 1 per se. And I feel like one of the most overused terms and literally in the modern FGC is this idea of scrubby. People will think I'm trolling. I literally don't know what that means because Mena RD calls me for the 6 scrubby. I don't know what he means.
Bro,
I guess
do you not
because
know what scrubby means? Back in the 3D MKs, used to call people scrubs like me. So obviously you have a different... Go ahead.
Can I finish, please? So, like, Mena RD calls you for the 6 scrubby when he's losing. When he's winning, the game is good. We've had the same people do with MKX and many other games. I don't have to give you examples. Scrubby essentially means I'm losing. I don't like the way the game plays. I've said a lot about MK11. I mean, you look up any bad word in the dictionary. I have probably called Mortal Kombat 11, a bad name at some point. I never called the game scrubby because I realized I'm fair to the players. Like if you have put in the work, whether it's Mortal Kombat 11, X9, any of them, like you're gonna be the better player. I don't believe ease of use matters, aside from very salty individuals who go online, rage quit, like our guest who did it to me for I don't know what reason. Like I just feel like it's a mentality issue. It's not necessarily a scrubby issue. Besides, when they translate,
are you talking about Franco? What do you mean the guest did it to you?
Churney rage quit on me, and I'm like, dude, we're trying to play this new matchup
in MK1.
Yes, so it's just like
Combat League.
Yeah, like I just can't stand. Like, dude, take your losses. It's just a game. Why are you guys being so salty for no reason? Whether it's zoning
to be fair, after I got done playing you do have a very scrubby style. But I don't know what that... You know what it means, bro. You don't know what scrubby means. You've been in FGC for 20 years. Are you joking? You never heard that term before.
I have heard.
There's two different terms. Scrub and scrubby mean two different things.
Words that are defined by the people. Scrub, back in the arcades, used to mean a player who thought that he was better than he actually was, complaining about the fact that you beat him. Scrubby is the adjective of that, of scrub, which is a noun.
Dude, no, so scrubby is a whole different thing than that. And words can evolve over time. Like, how do you not know what scrubby means? Like, are you like playing
Well, I agree.
dumb right now? Like, you know what it means. You used to use that term back in 3DMK. You used to call certain people, scrubby people playing scrubby characters, like me. Now you conveniently forgot?
I complained about your lag. I didn't complain about your scrubbiness.
You used to
I
call
got
me
literally.
lag tactic, scrubby player. I would never do anything, this and that. And you were right.
Well,
Until, then we had an offline scene, then we were wrong. But anyway, the point is, so scrubby basically means like super low effort, easy to do things that are like effective, overly effective, and the other person has to do like a lot of workarounds to like stop or get around it. That's what scrubby means.
King Jr., where do you stand on this topic? Because this word has really been. I mean, every game is scrubby. Every
Yeah.
character is scrubby.
Or the
It's
way
been
Scar puts it perfectly, Scar says scrubby takes little thought with high reward. Like just easy to do things that are effective but don't require any execution, just super brain dead things to do that you just have to deal with because that's just how they're designed.
Yeah, I think like ease of access and like pretty much what Rio said. Like if something's very easy access and super effective at the same time, I think it's
Like for example, Sub-Zero slide crush and blow from MQLM, scrubby or not? Obviously scrubby. Shiz, anybody can do
Scrubby.
that. You do a slide and hold R2, that's not scrubby. And you give a reward of 30%. Dave knows what it means. He's just acting dumb.
No, I wouldn't even call the slide scrubby. I think
Yo, that's
Scrubby,
crazy. His crush and blow and MQLM wasn't scrubby off the slide.
the game has a fundamental low power level issue.
Why are
If
you
every
scared to
character-
call when something's dumb or scrubby? Like, why is that? Is that like not allowed? You can't do that? If something is badly designed, you can't call it out. You gotta just hush hush, don't talk about it, pretend it's fine. What is this weird shit?
There's no weird shit. I just have a different mentality. I never complain about I complain about bad matchups. I've done that a lot. I used to do it a lot in MK9. I complain about MKX certain aspects, like the semi-block infinite combos that Liu Kang used to do. But I'm like, I have a pretty high tolerance when it comes to high power levels and what's quote unquote scrubby and what isn't. Honestly, I don't even care. Like, if you're beating me, I assume you're the better player. In the FGC, I know that's like, oh my god. If I'm losing, it's because it's a bad matchup, or he picked a higher tier, or whatever. Like, no, he beat you because he's the better player. Why did you beat me?
Dave, this isn't about the player thing. Like yesterday when you demolished me in our set that we played, you destroyed me in MK 1 first 10. I didn't go like, hey Dave, you're bad, you're carried. I said your character, this and that, is scrubby, but that's not to be a diss at you. Even my character has scrubby things like the armor launcher. It's just talking about the game and the characters. But just because I say, hey man, this character Homelander is broken, does not all of a sudden mean I'm calling whoever's using Homelander a bad player who's not good. Like, what the hell? You can't disconnect yourself. Like, you're not the character in the game, bro. You're you. The game is a whole different thing.
But it's not really a genuine argument. Or like, you're essentially saying that strategies that the player is using are like, he hasn't put in a lot of effort. And the only
your whole strategy with Kung Lao yesterday was literally to run away, wait for your camera to come back, do a homing missile, come in with a 50-50 or throw into a combo. Like, I'm sorry. Am I supposed to like clap and be like, damn, yo, that's some good ass gameplay? That shit was scrubby as hell. But it works. I'm not dissing you. You're playing the game. That's how it plays. Is what it is.
Well, the difference
but like,
between
you want me to throw a fucking party and shit and like celebrate?
No, I never.
Because you did a cameo, came in with a 50-50? Like, I don't understand.
I never requested props from anybody, honestly. Like, and the difference between me, like when you and I played MK9,
you're having this hard issue of understanding what people mean when they're talking about gameplay elements being scrubby or like a little brain dead.
You beat my friend essentially doing semi-block infinite combos. What you did, I don't think is scrubby at all. I think what the Cabal players did, I think requires a lot of work.
But the Cabal's armor is scrubby. That's the thing.
I got a question.
Not in my opinion.
So like on the scrubby topic, like, we are like include at least well, I'll ask you, Rio, but Dave, you can answer if you want to, but like, are we including ease of access as an execution barrier as well in the definition? Because me personally, I think that's a factor in whether something's scrubby or not.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, for example, if, let's say...
Would you agree that Day Zero Superman and Injustice 1 doing 4-2-3 breath, 4-2-3 breath...
Hell yeah, that shit was scrubby. Hell yeah. Superman was super scrubby in Injustice 1.
Compared to Cabal's Nomad Dash cancel exection, what's harder? Are they both
Cabal's
scrubby?
Is
only Superman's?
But Cabal had scrubby stuff to him. Like, for example, when someone throws a projectile at you on a Cabal, and you armor them from half screen full combo. That's scrubby. Like his armor
Oh,
spin is scrubby.
but specifically the block
But
pressure.
you're comparing his learning his pressure compared to Superman doing 4-2-3 breath, 0 A-frame.
Yeah.
Obviously, Superman's way more scrubby.
So is Cabal's block pressure like acceptable to you and like actually not?
King Jr., you're not giving people that was a block if the combo like half the cast at that point. Just
But
like
you can
Why is
stand
they
to
calling it block infinite combo? Like what? It was a block
But it
infinite,
was.
bro. What? But what's the
It
combo?
it was essentially like a semi, because you couldn't, certain characters like Ares couldn't even backdash. Like when the what was it, the breath, what was it, like 0+1? I forget what it was on
It was
release.
0 block, and he had an 8-frame advancing mid, and he was in the air, so would low crush some moves. Like Ares low down, is down 3.
Like, yes, we need more of that. It's like, who's advocating for?
No, I'm not advocating for. I'm just saying execution level wise,
was
because people, stand to NDC on some characters is a block infinite if your execution's tight enough.
no, exactly. But who in the
Honestly,
FGC?
for how good Cabal was, he should have been a little bit harder to use.
Who in the FGC is protecting these aspects? Like, who's protecting
You,
semi-block?
what do you mean we're walking on eggshells around you because we can't call something scrubby without you being like, what does that mean? What is he talking about? There's nothing scrubby. Like,
It's an issue. It has nothing to do with being scrubbier. It's a balance issue. Who's advocating for, like, you know what, guys? In the next Injustice game, let's all make Superman like he used to be. Like, have a fucking half screen mid that jails into like a 0, and which you cannot back, which like half the maybe characters cannot back. Who's advocating for stuff like that? Like, nobody's saying that's a
No, I'm saying I was strictly just talking.
You're advocating for that. You're asking we need more armor, more this. Like, you're making the game worse. Next game's gonna be worse because of you.
armor to like a semi-block into the combo. You're crazy.
My comparison was strictly just talking execution, not whether it should come back or not. But like, if something's going to be powerful, it should have an execution barrier. Like, if you mess up an NDC with Cabal, you're going to get blocked, and then you're going to get punished. So, like, chances are you weren't going to mess up Superman's day 0 block pressure with breath. Like,
It was
Not
impossible to
every-
mess up because it was just 4-2-3 breath.
Not everything is scrubby. Like, I don't
Yeah,
think.
but then when you do NDC cancels with Cabal, you're about to have fucking arthritis by the time you reach like fucking out of pools in your tournament. So,
Well, we have not really, because we have one guy who won like 3 MLGs with it, so apparently not. By the way, I would never say Cabal is scrubby. I genuinely, in my heart, do not believe that.
yeah, I don't think he's scrubby either. Like, I mean, sure, yeah,
He has
like
scrubby
the full screen
elements.
arm. He does have scrubby elements, but overall, like, he's
Every
still
character does.
you couldn't just pick him up and start winning with him like in a matter of hours. Like, like the execution barrier is high enough to where I think it warrants him having some
His
of those
armor
tools.
and his zoning definitely scrubby. Those two things.
I would say mostly his armor. I don't know about his zoning. The only thing about his zoning is Buzzsaw hitting from behind him.
Blade
Is
being
kind of
no effort projectile pushback is kind of brain dead.
Saw Blade hitting behind him is kind of obnoxious sometimes.
Yeah, that move shouldn't even knock
against
down, honestly.
like teleporting characters ripped.
Well, again, these are like balance concerns, and every top
That's
tier
what
is
I mean.
something.
Soul Blade shouldn't be that good for how easy it is to do. You just mash back 3 and it like beats everybody in trades and it does 2% shit.
But sometimes part of balance is like how heavy or little the execution is. Like, why why put in the effort with Shang Tsung and MK1 when you have other easier characters that are also more like part of the balance? I think does come from the execution in some cases. Most of the time, not, but I think you can argue execution is sometimes a factor in balance.
Yeah, if there's top tiers that are easier to play than Shang Tsung and MK1, then this game failed as balance wise because that's bad. Like, why would you make somebody's top tiers easier to play than Shang Tsung or whatever?
I assure you, the people who are watching in chat, I assure you, Rio will play a Shang Tsung player, and you know
I
what.
already
Rio
played
will-
a Shang Tsung player. They beat me and I was raging because I was like, why is he doing these low spike launchers into fair 50-50s? I already went through that like a couple days ago. So
Well, you
it's
have
been-
none of the other stuff. The Shang Tsung is supposed to be a zoning character, right? But he's not allowed to zone in this game. But he has one thing that's actually very good, and that I guess the two of you would consider scrubby.
the spike
And we all
launcher into
know-
fair.
No, he has a launching armor attack, and it's actually one of the
Oh yeah,
best
the
ones. in the-
Catwoman toy. Yeah, that's scrubby too.
So, by design, when you make a character better and quote unquote fix some of their weaknesses, by definition, you kind of make them scrubbier, right?
Or he literally
Because
had that
now
day one. I remember I was playing against Detroit and he was playing Kung Lao Shang and he was doing armor launcher into low hat. Like,
Well, yeah, they do right now with Tremor, right? Because Tremor, has
yeah,
the
so that's
up punch.
old. Like he's had this since day one, the armor launcher.
Well, yeah, but if imagine actually buffing his zoning, maybe buffing his string. This is a social construct in the FGC that we have to kill forever.
What do
This
you
idea
mean?
of
Oh my god!
scrubbing.
Now we can't define what scrubby and talk about because it's a social construct and doesn't exist. Every game is perfectly skilled equal. No.
Well, in my career playing fighting games, I've said a lot of stuff about people. I will never degrade people's skill, call stuff scrubby. If you beat me,
Bro, that's crazy. What are these rules you have in place? So is Homelander scrubby, yes or no?
no. I feel it actually requires
So
more skill
no
than
character
Frank.
in MK1 is scrubby. They all require extensive skill. You have to be like basically the equivalent going to college for 8 years to play one of them and pick them up, right? Like there's like you gotta invest your life into it.
Never said that. I think.
So are there some
If
scrubby
you-
characters then?
What does that mean? There are other like
Let me tell you what scrubby means for the 50th time. Scrubby means low effort shit to do that your opponent has to like be on the lookout and stop. Like they have to go the extra mile to stop you just doing some shit because it's that effective.
so top tier characters. Yeah, every game is scrubby shit that by definition.
No, not really, because some top tiers are actually hard to play. You're gonna say Fox from Smash Melee is scrubby?
I think in any fighting game, certain top tiers are easier to use than others. So to use this quote unquote scrubby term to me is just silly.
But you know what
Um,
scrubby means. I don't understand why we're pretending like you don't know what we're talking about, and I don't know what that term means. What is he talking about? You know what I mean.
The
Was
only
MKX
reason
scrubby,
I
was MKX scrubby, yes or no? Was Ermac's armor one bar move with Ermac and MKX? What was the variation?
It was
Mystic.
it was
Mystic. Was it scrubby? One bar move that hit behind you, hit everywhere, regenerate health, took your meter.
necessary. It was a necessary evil in a game that's very
But
highly
I'm
offensive.
asking you, was it scrubby? You're like,
Yeah, but it was necessary.
okay,
Of course it
so
was.
you know what scrubby means then? It was a low effort, good move that was like, why is it that good for how easy it is to do?
So now good moves are scrubby. Like any move that's
No, it
good that
depends
does
on how the move is designed, bro. When you're matching back for to Ermac and that shit's hitting 2 feet behind your head when I jump over it, yeah, that shit's a little scrubby.
I don't find I don't have an infatuation with this term. I think it's an overused term. Essentially,
It's just
the
a
way
term
it's
we're using to
been used-
discuss certain elements of the game. All I'm saying, the reason why this term even came up is I'm saying MK1, while I like it, has a lot of scrubby shit in it. That's it. Doesn't mean the game is bad. Doesn't mean nobody should play the game. Doesn't mean the game is not worth playing. But it's full of a lot of scrubby shit.
The only reason I like in my definition of scrubby, the only reason I include execution as like a little factor is because like if you have a character that's top tier and easy to use, you're just gonna see nothing but that character. But if there's like actually an execution barrier behind the character, like you don't see people picking up Garrus, and I'm not saying he's super S tier, he's like just outside of top tier, but the only reason you don't see people just using him, like picking him up, is because like he's got a lot of depth and like execution barriers behind him with the Sam clone and like not to glaze my character, but because there's other characters that have high execution barriers too, but like you don't see people bandwagoning on Garrus to get like high placements because you can't just simply do that. And I think if you do have a game that has those easy access characters that are also strong, it's kind of bad balance, but a lot of that bad balance could come from the ease of access, which would mean execution in some areas. But I
Well,
don't know if that makes
your
sense.
definition is irrelevant because when Kenshi had 15 seconds of Sento, he was called scrubby. Not because he was actually scrubby, but because he was highly effective in that one area. And by the way, I hate fighting against that piece of shit character, but like this is what I mean. The term has lost all of its meaning. Guys in the chat or people in the YouTube, please don't use this term. Forget about it. It means nothing. It essentially means whatever beats me when I'm playing is scrubby, and when I win, it's not
Why are you
scrubby.
taking this
essentially
like as a personal insult, bro? Damn, we can't call the game scrubby without you feeling offended? Like, that's crazy.
offended. It's not even about me. I'm not a Kenshi player. I'm not even a Kenshi player. I'm protecting Kenshi players because I think.
But like, why is
the
it such
reason
a big deal of we don't know what scrubby means? It's pointless. Like, bro, like I'm
been
sorry,
used to
not
it.
every character that's created in every fighting game is this work of art that needs to be held in a goddamn museum and everybody needs to worship. Some of them aren't. They're scrubby as shit. Like, I'm sorry. I know that may hurt your feelings, but come on, we gotta like, what are we doing here? We're pretending everything's like the Mona Lisa. in the game?
Well,
There's nothing
I,
that's off or scrubby or bad.
you know, I've said a lot of stuff
What am I
about
listening
smoke.
to?
You need to listen more closely. I refuse to. Again, it's a term essentially that's used to attack people personally. It's not a term that
Who's
has
getting
any
attacked
value.
personally? Damn. So I can't say anything in the game is scrubby without the person behind the screen feeling that I'm personally insulting them. Like, bro, if I'm calling Melina scrubby or anything, I'm not talking about the actual player playing Melina. They have nothing to do with this shit. Did they design the game? No, they didn't. So why are they feeling like they're being attacked?
These players, it's a typical modern. This is why Cherney.
This is why we have to walk in eggshells. We can't ever talk about mechanics or characters. Gonna people get like too offended and oh my god, don't say Cabal or whatever character's too broken because someone's gonna take it too serious. Like this is just weird energy.
Offended. I'm a zoning. I'm a top 8.
Bro, what zoning? Your whole gameplay was coming with 50-50s and throw us into combos. Where was the zoning at? Because I didn't see that yesterday when I played you.
Well, there was plenty of zoning, and I'm sure that Franco, you would agree that Kung Lao at its basic core is essentially a there's no different. Kung Lao is like
okay, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Remove the cameo and play me with Kung Lao without sector homing missiles or armor launchers. Let me see what your character even does. Because I guarantee you, running away throwing those slow hats is not gonna be zoning anybody out.
What's scrubby? You wanna enforce certain rules that exist inside your head.
No, because you're over here trying to be like zoning this. Bro, you didn't win because of zoning. You won because everything else but the zoning you were doing. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand.
Well, here's what I'm trying to get you to
There's
understand.
no way you're this brainwashed.
Guys, Kung Lao is essentially...
You thought you were zoning the whole time?
Can I please say this? Kung Lao is essentially a heavily nerfed version of Zod, right? Because Zod, you turtle until you get the trait. When you get the trait, you go in. And then you usually waste time, quote unquote, waste time with your projectiles, right? That's essentially what Kung Lao is. Except he's like 100 times like worse, right? Not even anywhere near as strong. That's what we now call scrubby. This is the reason.
What, you think people weren't calling Zod scrubby back then? Are you joking? So many people hated Zod back then. You would just run around mashing interactables, throw them with a trade out mashing, and then you do uninteractable 50-50s. Yes, people were saying this 15 years ago also about Justice 1. You must have missed it or forgot.
Yeah, Zod is not a scrubby character.
So this is not a new thing that came out and go over Kung Lao. It's been a thing. Games have been... There's been characters being called scrubby since like the day fighting games have been created.
Zod, he had scrubby aspects.
Yes, like his trait was scrubby as hell. Interactables were scrubby. His 50-50 was scrubby. His wake-ups were scrubby. Like,
but he had some, high execution stuff, like with his trait, like with the combos and the sometimes your block pressure, like in like the pig in the hut tech.
This is crazy because Dave's over here talking about was zoning this. No, you weren't, dude. Most of your combos and damage, everything came from you literally doing 50-50s nonstop or armor launchers nonstop. What are you talking about?
I'm not denying that, but I've already
okay. Then like stop acting like your main game plan and the main reason you were winning was because of zoning, because that was the last shit anybody cared about when they played against your Kung Lao.
Kung Lao's scrubby aspect would be the armor, but overall he's not like 100% like scrubby as a character. Like, but the scrubbiest thing about him,
bro, that homing missile and to come in and do 50-50s, and if you get hit, it was a little scrubby. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, to be fair, that's kind of Cameo Sector's fault, but when paired with Kung Lao, like,
Yeah, but Dave's over here trying to act like I was zoning, you were struggling to get in, your health was getting depleted by projectiles. That shit was not happening.
Rio lives in this, it's just hilarious.
No, I just don't understand why I can't admit some stuff for scrubby and that's it, dude. Like, there's no hard feelings. I'm not even, I literally said you're a good player at MK1. You surprised me how good you are at the game. And that's it. And I just said, like, you're abusing a lot of the scrubby stuff, which is fine. It's how the game plays. You shouldn't feel bad about it. But why do we have to walk around actions? Like, I don't get it. When we talk about MK9, we all admit, yeah, shit's broken, this is dumb, Sonya, this, Cabal, that. But then when we talk about these new NRS games, we can't have the same realness about it, where we can't say what's dumb, what's scrubby. Like, what is that? These newer games are, like, protected with, like, feelings. Like, you can't actually say how it is, because then people are going to get mad. But then you talk about older games, you could say what's scrubby, what's broken, and it's okay. It doesn't make any sense.
And not me. I never use the term scrubby to define anything. That's you guys. That's the modern FGC. That's what you guys have created. That's not me. You live in an utopia where, like every character must have adjust frames. Every character must have these execution levels of, I don't know, of some kind that takes 6, 7, 8 years to master. What are you playing? That's not how fighting games work. Like, usually top tier characters, like a Zod, right? Like, yeah, he has some very easy stuff.
Dave, you literally put me some Mario Party shit last night with Peacemaker. Like, look, here's the thing. I don't mind characters being crazy and shit. But like, there comes a time where eventually you want to play, and like, you want to play something good that's gonna test your skills, something that you can look forward to playing. Not all of us want to play like mindless shit where you just do random stuff, and then if you get a hit, get a combo. If you don't,
Get me. You called MK11 good. I don't want to hear from you about fighting games because you are a hypocrite, as I've already told you. You
I
are.
said the game took more effort to beat people in the game than some of the games before it. Is that
Hell
not true?
no. I highly disagree. I
Okay,
think,
what game do you think it's harder to? Okay, hold on, stop. What game do you think it's harder to beat? Let's say Sonic or Ninja Killer in a first to 10 in. Do you think it's easier to scrub them out, beat them in MK11, where you actually have to work for your damage and there's no 50-50s carrying over? Or if you're playing a game like MK1, let's be honest, what game do you think it's easier for you to take a match or whatever against them? Probably MK1.
I would say MK11.
yeah, I mean, easily MK11, of course.
You think it'd be easier
I
to beat
feel
Ninja
like-
Killer and Sonic and MK11 when you have to actually work for your damage and hits? Like, how are you going to open them up?
Well, the only
They
reason
duck your throw, you're dead.
No, they play a game that has no zoning. Of course, they're gonna fucking beat me. That's my primary concern. When I had high power levels, when the game actually had strong characters before they nerfed essentially half the cast, which you even admitted, then yeah, I would feel more comfortable.
Even if you played a top 10 zoner in MK11, like right now, Cetron, who's still a top 10 zoner in MK11, I think it'd be harder for you to win against them than if you were playing Kalau in MK1.
No, I think I don't use the term scrubby because I stand true to my word. But if there's anything resembling scrubby, I would say it's anything.
Yeah,
like MK11.
Stados, but Dave doesn't play Sub-Zero, so he's not using scrubby character. He's playing other characters where you have to actually work for your damage.
So I think MK11 is the worst example to bring up in any conversation because
You're the one that brought it up, though. We were talking about MK1. You bring in other games, bro.
I mean, you brought up Smash. What? I'm not allowed to talk about another NRS game?
I brought up Smash for 2 seconds as an example of another character.
Well, you literally asked me what's the probability that you would beat a Sonic Fox or Ninja Killer in different NRS games. I'm giving you my honest answer, and I think so did King Jr.
Okay, so you feel that it'd be easier for you to beat Sonic and them in MK11. I'd love to see that set, by the way. I want to see how many matches you could take off them in MK11.
Well, I wouldn't
Let me see
take
you
any.
out footsie as Fujin. Let me see how you get the damage, since it's easier to do.
Well, if you give me a character who can actually zone in that game,
You have Cetron, who's top 10 in that game, is also a zoning character.
no, it's not the zoning I like. I want to.
But the
I
problem
want
is with Cetron, you don't have 50-50, so you're going to have to work for those strike throws. It's going to be hard on Sonic and Ninja Killer. Damn. They may duck your throw. Then you lose.
Yeah, the power levels are low. I know that's why the game is bad. Even you admitted that they nerfed too much. That's why the game was what it was. So when
People
it favors
wanted
you,
Cetron on Nerf, bro. Here's the thing. What's crazy is people hated the game more earlier in MK11 when the characters were extra brain dead. You must have forgot that, though.
well, yet you're still linking to Reddit videos about people complaining about I don't know, literally
Bro,
about
oh
any
my god, why
protection.
is Dave obsessed with so Dave is talking about this. Literally a month ago, I was like, hey, I went to Reddit real quick on my phone to look, and I saw people bitching about the zoning in MK11. So I linked to Dave because I know you hate people that complain about zoning because you think zoning is bad in all the games. That's all I did. It wasn't like this big speech or wow, Dave, look at it. It was just a clip I saw people complaining about zoning in MK11 a month ago. That's it.
So let me bring this, if I may, provide the bigger picture. This is the reason why archetypes are gone. So you have somebody like Rio pretends to be he's for archetypes, right?
What the?
But the moment you mention armor,
no, you can have your scrubby archetype. You can have that.
the moment you mention armor, like his head explodes. The moment you mention, I don't know, armor combined with a character, God forbid he can zone and has a good projectile, that's not allowed. Like,
No, see,
guys,
the thing is, hold on, stop, because you're spreading false information. It's not that I don't like armor as a concept. It's that the way NRS does armor, you can go back from MK versus DC, MK9. It doesn't matter what game you go back to. When they first started doing armor to now, they've always done armor in the worst, most brain-dead, scrubby way possible. They don't know how to implement it in a well-designed way. It's always just annoying, obnoxious, not fun to play against, and makes the game feel worse. That's why. So because NRS doesn't know how to do armor properly, they should probably ditch the mechanic and try to do something else. Because it's not working. It's been like almost 2 decades of this armor shit, and it needs to go.
I think we need more of it. Especially if
Well,
these
here's the
games
problem.
are
See, you want games to be scrubbier. I'd rather that they make games that were more skill in mind. But it's just you just like completely different play style than I do in fighting games.
I
It
think
is what it is.
there's examples of characters that use armor that are also not entirely scrubby. Like, Bane in Injustice 1, like at the highest level, I think he's like a mid-tier character, like mid-high tier. Has like bad matchups to like Zatanna, Martian, Zod, Batgirl, Flash, and some of them being 3/7. Sure, his game plan is revolved around armor, but when he's on debuff, he takes more damage, his mobility's slower. He has slow buttons as it is, so if he doesn't have armor, he's not going to be able to disrespect you at all. I think he's like a well-designed armor character, or like Grundy, another mid-tier character, or Lex, another mid-tier character with armor. Like, uh, I can think of maybe some MK examples instead of Injustice specifically, but I think those are some of the best like designed
But
armor characters.
King Junior, wouldn't you agree that Kung Lao's armor is for the most part pretty balanced? Like it requires 2 bars to make save. There's some executions like how you have
No,
to hit.
too much range. Sorry.
Hold on,
I
let
don't-
let let Frank.
Get that shit out the game. Next game, I mean. I don't want to see that shit ever again.
Now you guys know why they keep nerfing stuff. This is the reason why.
Keep
Hopefully-
nerfing shit, bitch. I'm asking for like a game, like that's good. I don't want like scrubby. Like, if I want to play scrubby ass games, I can go back and play Deception.
The game doesn't even have armor, but anyway.
But it would if they remade it. That's the funny thing. Everybody would have armor in that game all of a sudden.
Well, good.
You know what? They're going to be coming in with armor strings. That's going to be the new shit. NRS hasn't done that yet. When you come in with strings or armor, that's probably the next new idea.
Hey, might be worth experimenting with. But I was gonna ask King Junior. You have to admit that Kung Lao's armor, it's strong, but it's not like, oh my god, like it dominates the
It's
match,
scrubby.
right? Like I think
It's scrubby for sure. It's a scrubby armor.
Rio.
move.
I know.
I think it's a well balanced armor move. Like it's not like pre-patch Tanya's armor,
Yeah.
like levels of problematic from like early MK1 days.
Yeah, I agree.
Franco, you're talking about brokenness. I'm talking about scrubby. It's not. Is it a broken move? Is he the best in the game? No, but he has a scrub. It's an armor move. It's definitely scrubby.
Yeah, but like I said, I still think it's like well balanced. Like it's costs like some resources and like I think it can be used in a scrubby manner, but like I think it's at least a well balanced.
Something could be balanced in the game and be scrubby still. Like for example, remember Flash from Injustice? His down 1, down 3 was scrubby, but I mean for the game, it was just your typical top tier like that needed it, but it was still scrubby.
I just think certain people who are not part of the, who don't share the modern FGC mentality, we don't complain about stuff in the sense of that we just complain about stuff being scrubby. Honestly, if your stuff is too easy to use, you're getting results, God bless you. I'm not going to complain about you. As long as I have my own tools and I'm allowed to play the way I want to play, then you should be able to play the way you want to play. I think this modern phenomena where like half the stuff is scrubby, and Rio has used this term in this podcast maybe about 500
I
times.
didn't say half the stuff is scrubby. I said you named one example. I said the Kung Lao armor is scrubby. All you have to do is be like, hey Rio, can you give me an example of armor that's not scrubby? And I would tell you. MK1 has some armor that's not scrubby, but you don't ask that.
Which one?
Havoc's armor is not scrubby. The up one, the arm one. There you go.
What? The helping hand? That has 3 hits of armor?
Yeah.
You know that's the best armor in the game, right?
Right, but the way it was originally was not scrubby. And I think right now it's easier to deal with that than Kung Lao's armor move.
Franco, this is insanity. Franco, what's the best armor in the game? Isn't it Havoc's? Obviously combined with Striker's grenades, it's probably the best defensive tool by far and the easiest one to take advantage of. Far easier than
The grenade is
They go
definitely
down.
scrubby with it.
Are we just talking about the base
You're talking
character
about the
and
armor
no
move.
cameo?
Just the armor move. It's so easy to bait and whiff punish. You walk back, he whiffs it, you full combo him.
what base? It's an assist-based game. Like, why are we judging
I
like
think
playing- not a cameo
Wait,
game?
okay,
It's-
so wait, hold on.
I think Havoc's is easier to deal with than Kung Lao's.
Way
especially
easier to
for
deal
just
with. You
stuff.
can't even walk back against Kung Lao. You have to literally just sit there and
But-
block.
but-
That's it.
But it's not to say it's not strong though. Like,
Yeah, it's good, but at
it
least it's
does have some
here's
range
where they
and
fucked up with
has
Havoc.
multiple
The way it
armor.
was in the vanilla game was perfect. The way they should have had it. a slow armor move has counterplay to it, say if you block it. That's how it should have always been. I don't know who was asked to buff that and make it more scrubby. But what's funny is right now, out of all these other obnoxious armor moves, it's one of the less scrubby armor moves. Like, I'd rather fight Havoc that has that than fight Kung Lao who has a half screen armor move that comes out super fast.
I still don't think it's that bad to deal with, though. Like, whether it's Kung Lao's or Havoc's. Like, Kung Lao's, like, yeah, it has some reach, but sometimes you can bait it with, like, a jump on Oki. Or, if he doesn't have 2 bars, and it's going to be, like, a full combo. So, I don't think it's unbearably, like, it's not, at least it's not, like, a safe armored launcher without the 2 bars.
I'll tell you about the stuff that needed to be nerfed was like his stuff pre-patch. I agree with that. I think Tanya's stuff needed to go. Kung Lao's needed to go. But obviously Tanya's stuff they over nerfed way too much. Now she's like low tier. She's never really recovered. That was a massive nerfing, just kind of ruined that character MK11 style. And then for
we already ranted about Kenshi MK9 earlier, like half hour ago. We called them super scrubby and brained in MK9. That's a bad example of a character. You don't want characters to be designed like that when they're super easy to play and effective.
I don't think Kenshi is brain dead.
You don't think MK9 Kenshi's brain dead? Okay.
I think Pig won because he was a great player and ahead of his time.
What does it have to do with Pig? So we can't say anything. So if you say anything about Kenshi and MK9, all insults are going towards Pig. Is that what you're saying? That's how it works?
No, but by definition, what you're suggesting is that
that's
people
what you just said, though. What does that have to do with Pig of the Hut?
Everything, because he was the Kenshi player.
So if we say Kenshi has a brain dead arm move in MK9, we're now saying Pig of the Hut is a brain dead player. That's what we're saying.
I mean, you are implying it. You are insinuating it.
So I can't say anything about Kenshi without it being insulting to Pig, is what you're saying.
We gotta separate the players.
That is crazy how you can't separate the game from the people playing it. That to me is like some lunatic shit.
Why does stuff have to be scrubby? Like, why is this even a conversation?
Because it is, Dave. What do you mean? Because developers make it scrubby, so it is what it is. You look at it, the shit's scrubby. Like, they made it that way.
Over it, like, I don't understand. Like, who cares? Like,
I'm not obsessed over it, but I've never had to like sit down and explain to someone 24/7 continuously what a basic term means, and then for them to not understand it still 10 attempts later.
Well, as you said, the term has evolved. The term has changed because of modern players playing Combat League and getting salty, losing to something that they perceive scrubby, whatever that might be. Lord knows, could be zoning, could be armor, could be jumping. I mean, could be anything. Like, just pull the rabbit, pull the rabbit out of the hat. There you go. It's scrubby. Like, the rabbit is scrubby now. The term has been overused to the extent that our best players in the scene are overusing it.
Okay, if we can't use the term scrubby, which term do you want us to use?
Well, name the character. I will tell you.
What do you mean? You named you don't want us to use the word scrubby. Well, where do you want us to use then? If scrubby's too offensive and too insulting to the player, what term do you want us to use?
Well, do you have any characters that you find that would be like on the easier side, or
let's
talk
about
like a similar definition to scrubby, but like in your own words?
Scrubby means nothing anymore. It can mean whatever you want it to mean. Let's talk about actually the designs that are failures. Pre-patch Deadshot, I think, is the perfect example.
Would that be scrubby, or is the wait? Do you want to do that? I don't want to insult Gur. Gur played Deadshot and Justice. Or is this okay for us to say Deadshot was scrubby? Are you okay with insulting Gur?
I'm not using the term you are, so you make the choice.
But wait, are you saying Deadshot was easy to use and bad design in Justice?
Well, he was
all of it. Are you saying Deadshot was easy to use and bad design in Justice?
Well, I don't think he was easy to use.
Because I don't think it's fair to insult Gur like that if you're going to do that.
Again, you're using the term, not me. Let me finish, please. You can use scrubby all you want. I'm sure you will.
No, you're using the term easy to use and bad design. Those two terms are offensive. You're insulting all the players that played Deadshot by saying that.
No, I'm not, because I recognize their skills. All I'm saying is that the character...
Oh, wow, funny, because that's how I felt in MK9. I could recognize Kenshi's player's skill while also knowing the character has scrubby elements to him.
Well, again, how many times are you going to use the word scrubby? Let it go. Deadshot is it's bad for the game's balance, and they obviously nerfed him and they over nerfed him and he was useless since.
Here's what I don't understand. So we got to sit here and have you lecture us on what character's brain dead bad like Deadshot, but yet in these newer games we can't say that about any other character because it's opinion. They're all well designed. Can't say that. So here's what I don't
Well, the
understand.
difference
Why is it when
is,
we look in the past for other MK games, we can say what's broken, what's bad, what's not good, but then for new games, they're completely exempt from that. You can't say what's bad, can't say what's dumb, because it's all, oh, people are complaining, opinions. Make up your mind. Is everything an opinion, everybody's flavor, or is it some things are actually just badly designed? Which is it? Because you seem to be convenient. Older games, you can pick and choose what's bad or this or that, but newer games, you can't do that. It's all people are complaining, everything's great. So make up your mind.
well, the modern games are, at least the characters are fundamentally better designed because there are no dead shots. I think the closest thing to dead shot was probably pre-patch Peacemaker, who bodied a lot of the cast and obviously got nerfed almost immediately. So we don't really have those designs. That shot lasted a lot. If you go back and if you review Injustice's one competitive scene, and I told people like playing to win and Cabo like, dude, this is gonna get demolished. This is a bad design. It just doesn't work. So modern games,
Well, by your definition, sounds like you were complaining about the character.
not really. I think I had a nuanced argument about the character, and I was like, something like this can exist with ironically some of your suggestions, like maybe let the character like load bullets or something like that, just to kind of add a little bit more depth to the character, to add some nuances to the character. That's very different than just to scream, on a stream scrubby for like, an hour. It
Sounds
doesn't
like you're
really do
complaining you
anything.
lost to Deadshot. I don't know, man.
I never complained, uh
Yeah. Oh,
because,
my bad. You were too busy complaining 3 years about MK11, but you never complained.
well, I never called them K11 scrubby. I think the better player always
Yeah, you
wins,
called it
and
brain dead, the worst game ever made, no skill, this and that. But anyway, go on.
I said a lot of stuff, yeah, but I never called the game scrubby.
Yeah, you never
But
said
anyway,
that
the
one word, but
point
you
is,
said 20 other insults. But yeah, go on.
yeah, I did. I stand by every single one of them and then some. Um, the point
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to make is that I told people that shot is a bad design. He is
Right.
unbalanced. And he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really do anything with the game, and he needs to be readjusted. And I
Yeah.
think history proves that I was
Yeah.
right.
Bad design. Yeah.
Um, King Junior, what say you to give you a word on this topic?
I think one of the characters from the modern games, like from modern NRS games we named, like Tanya and pre-patch Kung Lao, like those were like some of the scrubby characters or easier to use characters because of the pre-patch armor. It was just one bar for Kung Lao, and then he would use Goro, and then Tanya, she didn't have like the on block animation that she does now, and then she just use it with Goro. So I mean, we're not only cherry picking the older games, but like being easy access in some areas or scrubby. Just to be fair to Dave, 'cause I know Rio was saying a second ago, like it's only like targeted towards the old games. Like I don't think it's only targeted towards the old games, but uh,
Okay. So wait, what is
yeah,
Scrubby and brain dead in MK1 then? Because it seems like everything is just people being salty and there's nothing bad about the game.
no, I definitely, I mean, I think like some of the things that I can't stand, like and I'm going to use the word scrubby. Some of the aspects of MK1 that I think are scrubby. I can't stand wake up buttons. I still can't
Well,
stand
that's
how
because
strong
delay
jump
wake
kicks
up is
are.
terrible.
Uh, like there's too many invincibility frames on get up, so it allows your opponent to just be disrespectful and wake up a lot of the time instead of just using their traditional armored
They
attack
try to
and wake up.
gaslight me and say delay wake up is totally fine and good.
I can't stand the wake up buttons. I can't stand how jump kicks are still strong. Not MK11 strong, but they're still way too rewarding for how easy they are to land. And yeah, those are my go-to quote unquote scrubby aspects of MK1. Like, and those are universal too. Like any character can wake up buttons. Any character can enforce their jump kick. Some are better than others, like Johnny Cage or T1000, Rain. But yeah, it's those are some scrubby things that I don't like about MK1.
My opinion is that I think the game favors offense too much, and there isn't really enough of zoning and defense going on. I think it definitely exists more so than in MKX and definitely MK11, but it's very difficult to put zoning on the same terms when you see, I don't know, like Sonic Fox put somebody in essentially in an unblockable loop for like 30 seconds and just literally kill them, or like a Homelander command throwing you from like half screen, wall carrying you large style to the wall, and then mixing you up and essentially killing you. Uh, I think zoning needs to be slightly better, as well as defense. And I think the game, for what it is right now, would be in a much better stuff, in a better state. I'm sorry. That would be my criticism of the game.
They're not going to make the defense or zoning better in this game because the game has two brain dead defensive things that are the reason why they can't improve on it. Until they remove up lock, which is one of the worst mechanics ever, and delay wake up, they will never increase the defense. Because of those two terribly designed mechanics being in the game is literally the reason why you don't get more defense and zoning until they remove those two terrible mechanics. So you have to pick and choose here. Either we get rid of scrubby stuff like up lock and delay wake up, but then you get to add all these other defensive mechanics like zoning, better anti-airs, or you keep those dumb mechanics that are in place, but then you can't expand on it, because then the game would feel even worse to play. This is the problem when you have these band-aid mechanics put into games. They're put in a way that once you peel them off, the game falls apart. So until they get rid of things like delay wake up, the up lock, we can't have more defense and armor and all the stuff you want. That's just how it is. Because that's how the game was designed to be played.
I wouldn't say delay wake up's the problem. Like I said, I think it's specifically the amount of invincibility frames.
And you know what's funny? They actually can keep delay wake up. They actually can keep it, make it cost a bar if they don't want to remove it. But you need to come off some resource. You want to have a powerful option like that on knockdown?
King Jr., imagine playing MK1 without a delay wake. Like every character would like loop you over and over and over again. Like even something simple as
maybe they should design the offense to take a little bit more skill and brain power, so it wouldn't be that easy.
No, I think if you
nothing, it's a pointless argument because what like Cyrax requires what you actually mean. You mean nerf, right? That's what you mean. You just don't want to say it because.
So you want to nerf Cyrax? Is that what you want to do?
No, Cyrax is nerfed by the delay wake up. If you remove that, Cyrax becomes like 10 times worse.
Why would Cyrax care about delay wake up? Is she not putting bombs waiting for you to get up?
Well, now because then. What do you mean? Why? Because now you can read. Essentially, you get up always at the same time. So it will be very easy for any character. Like very simple. Like you do a combo, you call double missile with sector. You can grab. Essentially, they would have no options. You combo, wait. There you go. Like that would be the game.
So why are you sitting here asking more defense then when the game has stuff like that, like delay wake up block? That's the reason why we don't have more defense because you literally have it in the game already.
No, delay wake up isn't the problem. It's like I said, it's specifically the get up animation. Like there's just so much invincibility frames tied to the get up animation. Whether you're using delay wake up or not, you're still gonna get those get up invincibility frames. And that's the problem. It's not delay wake up or
but Dave was trying to say that if you get rid of delay wake up, now sudden Cyrax is oppressive, as if Cyrax is regardless of delay wake up or not. Like I don't know what Dave was trying to say.
If you remove delay wake up, you're just making Cyrax a lot scarier, is what he's saying.
But the point is, even if you delay or not, there's still a bomb going to explode when you get up. What is the difference?
But it's still a lot scarier without delay wake up. I would rather have delay wake up against Cyrax than not have delay wake up. Like, and maybe instead of
for King Judah, it's not just Cyrax. I'm sure anybody who's played this game for longer than a month realizes that essentially when you get rid of, if you were to get rid of delay wake up, you make every character's offense like 2-3 times, even to some extent 4 times better, right? Like you don't want to play the game, man. Like trust me, you do not want to play that game. I'm not saying that I'd
rather take that over delay wake up. Honestly, let me guess, because you know why? When I knock them down, and now they have to guess. So yes, give me that, please.
Well, again, to me, that's a little bit of a hypocrisy because you can play them with MKX's offense nonstop. So I don't understand why you would want the same thing in this game. I think this game.
I can play with MKX offense nonstop. The game that had terrible anti-airs, terrible movement, terrible other million things I talked about before, even getting to the offense.
Ironically enough, I think MKX had the best get up like off the ground system. Because you couldn't just wake up buttons in that game or wake up jump. And
it's because the strings were like 1 million active frames and recover quickly, and they would cover all 4 get ups.
That's partially an issue with MK1 too. Is everything's just a lot slower too, so that doesn't help with the wake up button scenario and the wake up jump as well. So it's like a mixture of those two things, but it's mainly the get up invincibility frames. Like I'll literally be
Bro,
doing
MKX doesn't even
Garrus's
let you.
forward four on Oki, and like they're literally phasing through like Garrus's foot or like ignoring it because of the invincibility frames. But that shit
MKX
wouldn't
literally
happen
doesn't
in
even let you
MKX.
backdash more than twice. That's apparently not allowed in the game because that'd be too powerful.
Well, again, the game is not known for its defensive mechanics, aside from one, and
That's
we
because
all know that was
they let you, but they only let you backdash twice for some reason.
Yeah, I mean that's like a lot of the NRS games lately. It's just heavy offense. Like aside from Injustice
Why does
2,
a
MK9
backdash
was like
cost running meter? Like I'm backdashing. My character is that weak in stamina that they can't do a backdash without depleting half their energy and needing to rest. Like what in the world? I remember we
yeah,
complained
like
about in the beta. We're like, why is backdashing costing running meter? Isn't running only supposed to use running meter? Like,
well.
it
I
makes
mean, the
no
way the
sense.
game. I mean, it does make sense, if you're a developer trying to make the game like incredibly offensive to the extent that you just like crapping on every defensive
How does it
mechanics in
make
the game.
sense? Like, it's just weird to have it so you.
It's not weird. I mean, they had a fighting games are like a matter of hypercorrection,
Dave,
right? Like,
nobody likes backdashing twice and then having to wait 10 seconds to be able to do it again. It's just so restricted movement, it's not enjoyable.
I'm not denying. I'm not even disagreeing with you. I'm kind of just playing like devil's advocate here. Like, a lot of people like MKX for what it is.
Yeah, but the
I
thing is,
personally,
nobody asks for invincible backdashes. And also, this is it's like imagine Street Fighter. If you backdash, you can't do it as much because some Street Fighter games have invincible backdashes. It's just
oh,
weird design on their
absolutely.
part.
it
They
sounds
just
like
wanted the movement to be worse. They literally just wanted it to be worse.
it sounds like
Well,
we're getting into
no,
the legacy topic. Am I hearing that correctly?
I don't think it's a legacy topic as much of as it is a hypercorrection topic. Like, uh, zoning was very strong in Injustice One, right? Like, especially with certain characters, they're like, you know what, we don't want that type of zoning in a future game, and they were like, let's just make it all crazy, like all like super highly offensive. Everybody kind of gets them for free, and they delivered. I mean, and then they looked at that, and then Injustice Two comes out and do the opposite. It's always been a problem. This knee jerk type of hyper correction in fighting games. Like, why does one thing have to be one way or the other? Like, why does one game have to be like super offensive, then another game has to like be all about holding back, all about zoning, all
Well,
about
guess what?
projectiles?
Now we're back to going back to playing MK11 because here's what's going to happen. With all the complaining, oh my god, we need zoning defense after this game. What do you think next NRS game is going to be? It's going to be like MK11 where we have 10 different offensive defensive options, but the offense is so nerfed. So I hope you guys are ready to play that next.
Well, I think MK11 was an answer to MKX's system. Uh, Completely unnecessary, right? That system would have been okay in MKX. Why it was in MK11? We already know hypercorrection. So I just by the way, it's not just NRS. I don't mean to just blow them up. It's like even Tekken, right? Like, or Street Fighter, right? One game is too defensive, the next one will be too offensive. One game is too, you know, uh, offensive, the next one will be slightly more offensive. Not slightly, like sometimes a lot more. It's just how it is, man. It's always been that way, by the way, including like character balance. One character may suck in one game, in the next game, the character might be like god tier, whatever. The best example is Vega, right? The characters with the claws, right? In the previous version of, I forget what it was called, like, he was useless. And then in Super Turbo, he's flying along the screen like doing like vortex, like, and to this day, like, he's still paying for those sins. They're so afraid of making him, like, strong because of that. And it's just the reality of fighting games, unfortunately.
So I guess is there a conclusion here? Is MK1 scrubby or what? Because we never like discussed it. It's like it's not scrubby. There's no issues.
King Jr.
I think there's still scrubby aspects of it, but I think it's less scrubbier. Oof. Well, man, I know you're gonna hate me for this, Rio, but I think it's less scrubbier than MK11.
Wait, MK11, the game where Melina can ball roll you and you lose 30 instead of 50?
Yeah, I mean, I would rather take a throw combo in MK1 than taking a throw crushing blow in MK11, because like at least
But I
there's
don't
like an
understand. In
execution barrier behind like
MK11,
the MK1 grab combos. Like you actually
but in
have to do your
MK11 they
combo,
do
and
30%. In this game, you get a combo every time you have the cameo meter. Like you have to do
but a lot
multiple
of the
crushing
time
blows.
the damage you get off cameo throw combos is or I'm sorry, a lot of the damage you get off throw combos in MK1 is not even as high as a throw crushing blow. Like when I got hit by Honeybee and our sets like in tournament or in casuals against his Devora, and he would get like 5 bugs, even 1 bug, because it would add damage depending on how many bugs you had. Every bug you had on you added like extra 2%. I think that
Franco,
throw would
Devore
hit
is
you
literally
for
bottom 10 in MK11. But I understand what you're saying.
yeah,
That does a lot of damage.
but that ugly bug creature bitch had like a 39% crushing blow
Also, do you
fucking
remember her
throw.
anti-air that went to 60% when you jumped at her? She had an anti-air crushing blow to 60. So you could never jump at her because she would take 60.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more so like at least that like had like a combo tied to it to some extent, but like the throw crushing blow doing like from 31 to 37% if I remember correctly. Like no, I'm good on that. Like I would rather you have to do a combo to get that damage off your throw than just holding a button that triggers it. Like I don't know, and
I
that's just
agree with
one
that, but I
example.
feel like the better way to do it going forward is just do one throw crushing blow per match like MK11, but you have to do a combo after it. So best of both worlds. Because this whole every time Liu Kang grabs you in MK1, you have to watch a throw combo, and then he knocks you next to him, and then you have to guess it again, and it's kind of
But
annoying.
to be fair, not many characters are throw looping you. Like he's not like MK11 Garrus throw looping you or MK11 like Kung Lao.
Yeah,
Or
no, I
I'm
agree.
sorry.
And or Sub
Uh,
Zero throw looping you in MK11.
they were very. I think they were careful with the throw loops in this game.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed. It's hard to go for throw loops in this game.
But yeah, I would rather my opponent throw me and have to do a combo that requires many inputs or whatever other like things that goes into it than just getting the throw and then you just hold the button and
I
boom,
just
you
feel like
shit damage.
when I played
And
MK11,
it's all unbreakable too.
yeah, but what's weird is like when I played MK11 Combat League, yes, the game had scrubby stuff, but I feel like it was harder to lose to people doing random scrubby shit in that game compared to this game. Because in this game, when they're doing random yellow shit, they're getting 50%, or they're covering it, or they're like breakering. Whereas MK11, they couldn't do any of that.
I think some of the YOLO shit in MK11, like jump kicks, like those were highly effective YOLO shits. Like
Yeah,
you
but in
get
this
hit by a
game, they're
jump kick in
doing
that
yellow
game,
jump
and
kick at the spear confirm into 50%. They don't even have to hit confirm. They just do jump kick spear and it comes out on hit. It's crazy.
but the jump kicks OS in MK11. They don't OS
Yeah,
in
right. But when
MK1.
Scorpion jump kick speared in MK11, he wasn't getting 50 like he does in this game. That's the difference.
Some other characters got high damage, like Cabal or Shao.
Yeah, well, I mean, Cabal was a scrubby character in MK11.
But yeah, like I think the jump kick OS in MK11, like that was a universal thing. Like that was like scrubby. Like I
I
still think
agree.
jump kicks are scrubby in MK1, but not as scrubby as
We
MK11.
actually did an episode complaining about the jump kick was in MK11. How you could just do a special jump kick and auto combos on hit and one on block. Or whiff, I mean. But somehow they still brought that back. It's still in MK1. They didn't remove it. But in
Yeah,
this game, you get more damage off of it.
I would still say I would definitely say in my opinion like maybe it's just kind of unbiased and I hate MK11 with a burning passion like
A lot of us
um
do, my friend. A lot of us do.
I think MK11 is scrubbier than MK1 because I feel like in MK11 too you just almost never have to you can always disrespect your opponent like you almost never have to hold block in that game and you can try to wake up with a roll steal your turn back or up 3 up 2 delay your wake up to throw off their timing on Oki. Like, it's just there's a lot of scrubby aspects in my opinion that I think are worse to deal with than in MK1. That's why I would say my chances of beating a player better than me would be in that game because the game just allows you to be like super disrespectful in many areas, and it's just like kind of.
But give me an example. Like, Sonofar's going to knock down MK11, you're going to roll on him, and you think he's not going to be ready for it?
I still think my chances are better in MK11 than in MK1. If he touches me once with Cyrax, and I mean, Garrus loses to Cyrax in MK1, but even if I use a character that went even with Cyrax, like I don't think I'm beating Sonic Fox. But I also enjoy MK1 a lot more too, whereas
I don't know. It's just
MK11 I
hard for
don't.
me to see MK11 being scrubby in MK1.
Dude, and down 2 crushing blows, like I
Bro, what
don't
do you
miss
mean? This
those
game, you
either.
do it down 2 for 2 bars, you get like 60% or 50 or whatever.
Okay, actually, I did forget about that. You're
What
right.
do you
You're
like?
right.
This is what I don't understand. You guys are talking about what if they do a
But
random throw, crush
but
load, but in the MK1, they're getting a full combo of any random move they hit you with. This is what I'm very confused about.
at least every
Like in
character.
MK11, yes, you could do random YOLO down 2, but you only get to do it once per match. In MK1, it's like anytime they got meter or cameo, you better hope you don't get hit by random down 2 because you're about to watch a 20-second combo.
The down two crushing
I'm
blow
really trying to
exists.
see your guys' perspective. I just can't. I feel like it's harder for scrubs to beat you in MK11 than this game.
Let me just say this, please. I think the down two, like with 2 bars, exists as a positive because
Bro, you don't even need 2 bars. With Omni-Man, if I down 2 you randomly, I get 40% with Movado. Like, I don't even need to use meter.
no, I understand that, but like
So every time I
remember
down
when
2
you
you, I
down
do a 40% crush and blow combo.
Rio, the down two stuff like is unbreakable. I think the reason it exists is to
Yeah, the counter to dumbass people doing YOLO move into breaker, which is obnoxious.
correct or into YOLO unsaved move.
Anti cameo.
Exactly, that's what it's actually there for. So you can look at at least
Yeah,
the
I
system
understand
in
that's what
MK
it's there for. However, someone can still use it for the other reason of doing a YOLO down 2 and then getting a combo out of it and then beating you.
No, I understand
Which
that,
is
but at least
equivalent to
in
getting hit
MK
by a crushable in MK11, yet, but they could do it way more in MK1
well,
because
it's not the equivalent because at least it has a purpose in MK one. The purpose is kind of what we just described, right? The purpose is if, for example, I'm using Havoc and Striker and I randomly roll the missiles or machine gun, right? Like you can down two, punish, and I believe there's some invincibility frames, like as you go up,
you get
like
armor as
that
you go up. You
actually,
get armor.
yeah, like that actually serves. Yeah, thank you. That actually serves a purpose. What's the purpose of
Dave, I understand
down?
what you're saying. However, what you're not understanding is this. Yes, there's a purpose why they made down 2 do that in MK1. However, people are not using it for the purpose. Some people are just YOLO down 2, and if it hits you, they're getting a full combo for it. So they're using it in the way it was bad in MK1, where people just do it randomly and get a combo. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand.
I don't think that's an issue at all. Down
But
two
it's
on Whiff
weird for
has
me to
four.
think down 2 crushable is issue in MK11 when it's literally the same fit in MK1, but you get more damage in MK1. That's what's
No,
confusing to me.
I do agree. It can be
Like, it's
used
very
in that
this is
scrubby
just weird.
aspect in MK1. That was just a bad example for me to bring up. 'Cause
Yeah, but like even Sub-Zero Slide. Sub-Zero Slide could be scrubby in MK1 too. He slides you get a full combo. But in MK11 it was the same shit, but he could only do it once per match. So it's like weird
I
to see
still
that
think-
MK11 is scrubbier than this game when this game is literally doing the same shit, but you can do it way more in MK1.
The only reason I don't mind MK1 Sub-Zero Slide as much is because you at least have to do a full combo manually to get your damage, and the
Well,
reward he gets
King-
off his slide in MK1 isn't as high as
King
his
Junior,
crushing blow.
you're also missing the bigger picture, which is again the damage output in general in MK1 is way higher overall. I mean, it's not even close. Like the again, I'll give the same example a million times.
But Dave, hold on, before you go into this, that's the reason why I think it's harder for scrubs beating you in MK11. The scrubs have to beat you, hit you like 3 or 4 times. It's hard for them to even get the first hit. But then they hit you 3 or 4 times, where in MK1 they have to hit you twice and then you lose to them.
Well, why does that favor me if I'm using Cetrion
Look,
or
I'm
Jade?
just saying, so far out of playing both MK11 and MK1, I feel maybe my hitting will change when I play MK1 more. It feels like it's easier to get scrubbed out with people in MK1. These people will hit you twice and you lose to them because they hit you with some YOLO shit or random slide into combo or whatever, or random Melina ball roll, you lose 50. And you have,
Guys, you guys are watching the matches. People in MK11 were literally jumping back and mashing breakaway. So they were hoping you would do a string that would be like, that would have a lot of recovery frames so they can punish you on their own wake up. This is
that
a
happens in
non-argument.
MK1 also, Dave. If you do
But
some
MK1
strings on knockdown and you're off and your full string hits them, they will clip, hit the ground, and recover in time for you to finish string, and then they combo you. That literally exists in MK1. The strings are still clunky where that happens. That's never happened to you, not once.
MK11,
That does
has
happen,
happened.
but yeah,
That literally
it's-
happens.
like,
That happened to me
no
with Omni-Man
one
multiple
here.
times. I'm like, what? So it makes you not want to do full strings on knockdown. It makes you want to do like what the first or 2 hit.
It's
Yes,
not as common as the
knockdown.
breakaway situation, though.
It's not even anywhere near close. Like, MK11, again, I don't like the term scrubby. I don't have to repeat myself. That's probably the only game I would actually call scrubby because there's no way for you to enforce your will against certain characters. They're going to jump back. They're going to break away. they're gonna
MK11 is
do
definitely
certain
scrubby. I
stuff.
mean, you have crush and blows, which is scrub mechanic, all that shit. But I feel like MK1 has that plus more.
I highly disagree. I think the higher power levels.
The scrubbiest
Uh,
things about MK11 to me was the freaking crushing blows, the fatal blows, them doing shit on wake up because delay wake up. This game has all that plus more because now the cameos add the extra layer of what am I gonna do, bro? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? Am I doing slide into katana fan left? Whoa, where am I going? And it's
I
just
think having a freeze frame on fatal blows alone makes MK1 a lot less scrubby than MK11. Like,
yeah, it's
remember
less
when there was no
scrubby, but it's
freeze
still
frame?
scrubby. It's still scrubby, but it's less. The fatal blows in the MK1 are still scrubby, but they're less scrubby than how they were in MK11. In
Yeah, I think
MK11,
if
they
you
were way too powerful. Like they were way too broken.
if I think if you made like a chart or some kind of graph that you listed what all the scrubby things were, like, and I know scrubby is a matter of opinion and is not objective, but like
yeah.
I I think at least on my list, I could definitely list way more things scrubbier in MK11 than MK1. I
Well,
think.
We
I
give you the
talked
fatal
about
blows,
like.
and the fatal blows in MK11 were way stronger and way more broken than they are.
Well,
And
I'll
the
give you
MK1 has like
another
nerf
one.
fatal blows.
I'll get the only game um that I have ever played out for like I literally cannot anti-air. Like I literally have to do like a just frame to anti people was MK11. Like what? And by the way, I use Jade who has the best down too, of course, because again the damage is so low, the power levels are so low, they're never gonna stop jumping. And even if you flawless block, right, like the damage you probably don't get much anyway. So you literally, despite having the execution, you still get trashed by a kebab player who, by the way, can even like they can jump out of
I
your
mean, that's a terrible
depending.
matchup.
Yeah, it's just a bad game. Like I never felt so helpless in my life, ever. So
Welcome
and
to playing against strong top tiers like Cabal. They make you sit there and do nothing while they play the
no,
game.
it's not about strong top tiers. It's about the level is low. That's the game. And I don't mind
What
quote
you're
unquote
complaining
scrubbing
Cabal is so
stuff.
powerful in MK11, but the power levels are low? How does that make any sense?
I don't think it's powerful at all. Give me a character like Kung Lao in MK.
Bro, if
Uh,
you put MK1 Kung Lao and MK11 without cameos, nobody would give a fuck about him. Cabal's still gonna be jumping all over you.
yeah, but it's not that type of game. Like I
So
don't
I don't know what you're
care
talking
about.
about.
I don't care about
People hated Cabal in
how.
MK11 because he was broken as fuck, not because he was weak, low power level. I don't know what you're talking about. He was super easy to
No, I'm
use,
saying
super jumpy. Every hit led to 40% combo, and then you could never break away because if he does any at any time into a safe
I don't.
hunting move,
I'm
he would
just saying.
relaunch you to 60%.
Hold on a second, please. I'm not saying he's weak. I'm saying is there's no counterplay because all the zoning characters have been destroyed. Give me Kung Lao's
Well, yeah, the
projectile.
final patch that was gonna nerf Cabal, Fujin, Joke, and all the other top tiers never came out. But that's what everybody was waiting for.
I don't care about the nerfs. Buffed all the other characters the way they used to be, then we can talk.
You can't,
Give me,
bro. They're not gonna rebuff
give me
everybody to Cabal's level. They're just gonna nerf him
well,
because that'd be 10 times easier than to rebuff all the nerfs they did for 2 years.
well, I know they're not going to, and again, that's why the game is bad. But like, the point I'm trying to make is that I don't give a damn about so-called Cabal's high power level. Fine, he can have that power level. Give me a good aerial projectile like Kung Lao. It's not even forget about Kitana's MK9. I know people would, they would cry rivers of tears. Give me like just Kung Lao's projectile. Give me armor. I would body those fucking people. Like, but I'm not allowed to have that. Why? Because the game is badly designed. It
You
doesn't
have something
fit.
more broken than armor in MK11. You have OS false blocking in MK11. You just use that.
No, that's weak.
What?
Oh,
They
there's
can't bait your floss block. They do a jump in, you do it, they die. Like there's no counterplay. You think they're gonna empty
no.
jump? They won't do
Kung
anything.
Lao, no, Kung Lao's armor is better than any flawless block. That's
Well,
just
yeah,
a
that's
fact.
scrubby armor move.
Well, I mean, you describe it scrubby. I describe it as counterplay, and I think that's
Wall
what we.
blocking was another scrubby thing in MK11.
Well,
Just
uh,
losing
I
my
don't think.
turn for enforcing my offense. Like, get
Well,
out
here's
of
the
here,
thing. I
guys.
don't think.
Well,
Well,
that's
hold
what
on a
happens
second.
when they make defense too good.
I don't think that was scrubby. It was just that it was a defensive mechanic, just like armor, that ended up being used more offensively. But Ryux uses that for some reason and crashes armor nonstop, I
What do
guess.
you mean? I was always saying there was a lot of ways they could have done floss block better and make it harder to do. It should not be one button block everything.
Well, um, I I don't want to harp on MK11 too much. I think, with all due respect, Franco, I think kind of what we had to say.
Okay, so
about,
anyway, just to end this, you guys feel like it's easier to scrub out and lose to people than MK11, and it's
I mean,
harder
I don't
to-
mind. I don't mind beating a dead
Okay,
horse.
well, I guess we
so.
just agree to disagree. I think it's easier to get scrubbed out in MK1 than MK11.
well,
I feel confident when I go up against Scrubs and Clem. This game, I'm like, oh shit, is he gonna do this? Is he calling the cameo? What's that mix up? Like,
Well, maybe it just depends on the gameplay style. If you're a player like me, you want to play more
yeah, if you're jumping
defensive.
back all day, waiting to get your sector cameo, coming 50-50 all death, I could see you handling Scrubs like that
Yeah,
easily.
exactly. Like, but if you're trying to like zone MK11, good luck to you. Like, you're gonna be miserable. Fighting not necessarily the mid tier, right? I think the zoner like Jade and Cetra they do very well. But like, if you're like trying to, dude, it's just literally ridiculous how badly they nerfed zoning and how badly they nerfed defense. Standing, not obviously like defense is good anywhere else but standing. So for the way I like to play, not saying that the game is, like I was probably harsh. It's probably better than I thought it was when I went back over the summer and played it. I know Frank was probably rolling his eyes,
Why
but
do you
like,
think the game was better than it was? Like, nothing changed about it?
um, I mean, I guess I was just like you, man. Like I'm not an MK hater. I don't think neither are you. Like we just trying to have fun. We give the game a second chance, and like you know what? I had my fun with Setron. It's not the game I would ever play because why would I play
Well,
a
she
game
had the
where
best standing jab anti, so I don't know how you were struggling anti with her.
well,
The
just in
Sestrans out
general,
playing
like the
commonly would
damage as
always
well.
anti me out of the air with her jab. Her jab was obnoxious. I had like no hurtbox.
Well, I don't care about anti-airing their general characters. It's about playing the top tiers that are very difficult to anti-air.
She was
That
top 10, bro. She was one of the top tiers. She was literally
I'm
under
not.
like the top 6.
I never said she wasn't. I'm describing the fact that
The
anti-airing some
only
of the top
characters she
tiers.
struggled to anti were like characters that could change the arc in the air, like Cabal and characters like that. For everybody else, she
Yeah,
could easily anti jab,
yeah,
but then with
like
her
top tier. Yeah,
obnoxious
exactly.
standing jab.
Thank you for proving my point. Like, yeah, the characters like top tier, like Cabal and Fujin, and
No, she could answer Fujin. It was just Cabal, literally, because he could at any time air dash. But even when he did
most.
that, you would recover in time and just block. So it's not like he's comboing you for going for a jab anti. Her jab anti recovered fast.
No, no.
You just couldn't
Again,
control him
I
on the ground
think
because he's an aerial character.
I think. Well, yeah, she's an area character in a game where zoning sucks. So I stand by my opinions. The game is probably slightly better than I initially thought, but it's still a very bad game. I think it's the worst modern game fighting game I've ever played. It's not a good game at all, and God bless MK1. I think it's infinitely
Crazy how
better.
this MK1 episode ended up. We're talking 40 minutes like other games that nothing to do with MK1.
Well,
But
yeah,
I
I mean,
mean, I guess when there's not much to talk about MK1 aside from did they cameo or not, then I mean, we have to talk about other games.
I mean, when one game is so egregious, like we have to keep commenting on it, I guess.
I
Besides,
guess
you
when
brought
the
up
newest game isn't hot enough for us to talk about it, and yeah, we have to talk about the game.
I mean, you can make excuses all you want. You brought up the topic, so when we comment, you get mad. Like, yeah, we
Bro,
think
all the topics have to do with MK1. I didn't not expect to do a half-hour MK11 on this episode.
the topic, you question you asked, literally, you asked both of us. Which one is good to
MK11 was
use
already
your word?
brought up before I even made that topic, dude. MK11 was
I
already being
know.
talked
Then
about.
why?
So, what do you mean
Yes,
I
so
brought
was
up
MK.
MK11 then?
So was MKX. So was MK9. And
Oh, right, I'm just saying, like, you would think we'd want to talk more about MK1 and not so much about other fighting games. But I guess
well,
there's
as you
not much to
keep playing
talk
the
about
game,
with MK1.
there's a lot to talk about. As you keep playing the
Like, what?
game,
What
and
is it? Okay, what's a lot to talk about MK1?
well, we can talk about matches. We can talk about the tier list. As you keep playing, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Like Franco and I do like a 2-3 hour podcast. At one point, we did it like almost twice a week. It's just that you don't play the game. Recently,
I
obviously, you
don't,
got
bro.
back
I've been
into
playing the
it.
game for the last 2 weeks. You mean I don't play the game?
Oh yeah, can you play for the last 2 weeks? What about like the 2 years that you 2 years and 3 months that you missed? Like,
Yeah, I didn't play those other older patches, but I've been playing the newest patch that's been out. I reckon, like,
yeah,
how many? Okay, who has the most time on this new patch? I'm not saying it's me, but I mean, I've been playing a lot since the new patch.
yeah, it's me. I told you my hours, and I think
I'm saying
ironically,
since the new
Franco and
update,
I.
Dave. The new update that came out like 2 weeks ago.
No, I
It's a
give
new
you
game
props.
now, dude.
Yeah, I
It's
give
not
you
the
props.
game, the previous version or whatever.
Ironically, Franco and I, we have probably talked more recently than almost at any other time. We talk about the game. We have a lot of fun. We obviously have our criticism. Some of it's about preferences. Some of it is not. And I'm really having a good time. And I hope the next MK or Injustice game is very similar to this, aside from the cameo
I hope
system.
it's not like this game at all. I hope it's a whole different Mortal Kombat game.
Well, uh, we'll save the.
That's
We
true
can.
on phased Moses. There were some characters that could do that. He said you could bait false blocks in MK11. There were characters that had counterplay.
Let's give a last word,
But
and
that's
then
like super,
let's.
super advanced stuff that you learn in the game.
do we want to give our last words
Well, I want to ask you guys quick last topic. I don't know if you guys have time. I just wanted to quickly ask you guys, what is the tier list for
Yeah.
MK1?
Well, I don't want to get into like a complex topic. Let's
Yeah,
talk
no,
about the
just
top.
like not in depth, but just go through the tier list. Who do you think is 1 through 20 or whatever?
Let's talk about like the top 5 or 6. Is that okay? And talk about the bottom 2
Okay,
or
the
3.
top 5 and the bottom 5, I guess.
Yeah, King Junior.
Cyrax and Homelander top 2, and then
But
from
which
there,
one's better, you think? Like number 1?
ooh, I want to go to Homelander, but they're really close. And then S tier characters besides them two, like Havoc, Reiko, in my opinion, Ermac and Scorpion.
Okay, but like
Yes.
Sura has a point, but which cameo for these characters is number 1 or 2? Like why? Like which version of Sarks with which variation and I mean cameo and which one for Homelander?
Homelander, Farah, and then Cyrax has some options. I've seen people use Frost, Sector. Most popular ones are probably Madame Bo and Serena, though.
Which
I've
one
seen
you think
Tremor.
which one you think is the number 2 one? Like the team combination?
In my opinion, I think the top 2 cameos for her are Tremor and Serena, but I could be wrong. That's just my opinion.
But what
Yeah,
about
for
the
Havoc.
other top 5?
Well, Havoc.
Reiko and Tremor, Havoc
Yeah.
and Striker, maybe
Havoc.
Movado here and there.
Yeah, Havoc and Striker is one of the few
By the way,
defensive teams.
that grenade assist is so scrubby. The fact that it looks like it's exploding in the air, so it's a high, but it's actually a mid, makes no sense.
Well, that alone, again, I promise you, I'll promise. If that alone you have had that in MKX and MK11, oh my God! Like
you did
finally,
in
I
Towers
get-
of Time, like
what's that?
you
Say it
did
again,
already in
sorry?
Towers of Time. You had branded assists like that.
Oh no, yeah. I'm talking about competitive gameplay, right? Like that alone would. So when I played Nitara players, she's like a high mid, whatever mid tier. Like they'll have to jump, right? Obviously, grenades, anti-air, and launch.
Yeah, they
So
control everything, and they're mids, even though they look like they hit high. It makes no sense.
yeah. So God, man, I wish I had that against Cabal players, against
You
Fujin
say that, but
players.
then Cabal be having the Baritro fart assist in MK11, and you'd probably rage. But I'm like, oh my god, I can't move. He's doing this and coming in plus 40. Like,
Wait, which one? I'm sorry.
there was a assist in MK11. They had different assists, and one of them was Baritro, and he had a fart where he would fart, fill
Yeah,
the screen
fuck
with gas.
Competitive game, bro. I'm talking about the competitive game, not like whatever
I
it was.
understand,
in
but you're
the-
talking about playing Cetrion with striker assist, so I'm telling you what the assist Cabal player would have, bro. So
I
would
know,
make
but
you rage.
so Havoc with Striker is the best defensive character in the game by far. It's not even close. And then Scorpion with Farah has, and then even if with Farah doesn't work, you have other options. You can use Striker, you can use Tremor, Ermac. Ermac's damage is kind of broken. Is he top 5, 6? I don't know. I'm not really sure. Another character you control there is maybe Johnny Cage, maybe Sindel. You have a couple of as usual in a fighting game, right? Like the
Sindel
top
top
6,
five?
7. What's that?
Sindel
Some
top
people say so, yeah. Like Ermac being S tier is like a hot take that I have, but most people don't agree with that. Some people do have Sindel on S tier, I think, though. Some people have said Melina even. So, it's pretty
Yeah.
debatable.
Yeah, usually like sometimes in fighting games, right? If it's really balanced, which is what this game is, the 5th, 6th, 7th can like vary, and you can have like, at least in my opinion, right, Franco, you would agree, like you there could be like multiple characters who could who could occupy that spot, right?
Yeah, there's a debate to be had.
And then for bottom 5,
Quan Chi being bottom 1.
Quan Chi in terms of matchup is the worst, mostly because his pokes are complete garbage, and his armor is the worst in the game. His footies are the worst in the game. He has like a armor portal, which is very good, but like the most important defensive move in this game is actually not your armor; it's your down 1, because that's how you get your turn back. Like imagine if you play Tekken or something and your jab was like 15 frames or something stupid like that, or your down one was, I don't know, 12 frames or 13 frames. That's essentially what you're dealing with when you use Quan Chi. It's really, really rough. So when you fight a character like Cage, it's just it's just bad, right? Like you can still win, if you can make the right read, but it's just very, very hard. And I mean, Frank will take it away. I know you want to rant, so go ahead.
Yeah, I know you guys said you didn't want to spend too much time on this, but
No,
yeah,
I mean it's okay. I
Quan.
don't have I mean I'm gonna go to sleep honestly after this in probably an hour or whatever. So if you like, I'm not rushing you guys.
Yeah,
We'll wrap it up soon. Yeah, go
he's
ahead.
got
I'm
pretty
just really
much.
tired because I only got 4 hours of sleep last night.
No,
Oh, I
yeah, I
feel you on
understand.
that.
Yeah, but no, I'm not rushing you
We'll
guys.
wrap
Like
it
if
up.
you guys want to take the no, you guys can take your time if you want. Like there's no rush.
Yeah, like Quan Chi, he just has the worst defensive options. Horrible offense. Like even Orange Portal's not enough to be a saving grace for him in this game. His zoning's kind of buns. He has some moves that genuinely just don't work that well, like Green Portal and Bone Cage. He has other issues, like he has gaps in his strings. Slowest stand one in the game too, so he misses out on -7 punishes or -8 punishes even. So yeah, slow buttons, bad defense, horrible offense. The only thing he has that's even good is his stand four. That's like the only thing that he has that's like genuinely pretty good.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. And then also, it's the fact that he has the worst matchup spread in the game.
So wait,
Again,
you guys
still,
only
Well,
mentioned
yeah, he
Quan Chi
has.
for bottom 5?
well, we
Yeah,
have
he's
more.
yeah he's bottom one. Yeah, we just started with him because he's bottom one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played
Then I
against
would
some in
go with,
Combat League. I'm not really impressed. It just seems like he does 50-50s and that's it.
yeah, he has they buffed, they made his, that, it looks like kind of like an axe, like, well,
Yeah,
it's
but I'm
that
saying he just seems
technique.
like an unsafe 50-50 character.
Well, he's pretty safe-ish. It's just that, guys, it's about defense, right? Because he doesn't have zoning and footsies that are oppressive, right? So, again, I keep making the same case I've been making for a long time now. His defense is like the worst in the game, and then double that. That's how bad it is, right? How can you have a character that has a down one that's slower, that's more minus, right?
Bro, I'll tell
So,
you this right now. The second they give him a 7 frame down one with Melina range is the second he's going to be so annoying to play against.
well, you don't have to worry about that because I don't think they're going to do that. But the
What do you
point is,
mean? They could
it's
hotfix the game and do that. Like, we don't know, like a month or
true.
a couple months from now.
I think
Well,
they're too afraid to do anything with Quan Chi at this point. If they
yeah, I think they're
continue
too
patching
scared.
the
And
game.
he is, yeah, and to be fair, like he is a pretty polarized character,
He has
mostly
that
because
one
of the
cool
art.
move that I got hit by, but I was disappointed when I realized you could just jump out of it. This like cage move he puts you in. I was like, damn, this is cool. Then I realized you could just jump out of it. I'm like, oh, well, so much for that.
Yeah, that's another move that should be better than it actually is. Like I understand why they're afraid because again, has to do with the armor portal and all that. Like if you gave that move to any other character, like it would like bump him up by like 2 tiers. But like it's a Quan Chi, right? Like he has again, he just has crap pokes, crap footsies, crap armor. Can I get his turn back? Really, a lot of the like the pressure that you do with like Omni Man, even though your normals are like 0, right? Like -1, -2, all that stuff essentially against Quan Chi is plus, right? Because he cannot get his turn back, and it's just very, very difficult to deal with it. But I'm moving on because I do want to wrap this up. I think the second worst character is Tanya. Um, King Jr. Do you agree?
Yeah, Tanya is probably easily the next worst character after Quan Chi.
Why do you think?
Her game plan with the whole seeking guidance just doesn't do enough for her, and she got super over nerfed after she was top tier and all that, and they just didn't really give her enough things to compensate the nerf she got. Like slow, like her combos just don't do that much damage. She doesn't really have throw combos with many characters, so she's kind of limited on ways to open you up. Uh, she does have armor, but it's way less accessible because it is tied to her seeking guidance, which she doesn't always have. So it has like freaking mediocre projectiles, like in the air and on the ground. Just not very rewarding, like in any area in particular. She's just minus on most things.
Yeah, the best thing about her is like what is that forward two, that footsie tool.
Yeah,
this,
I think it's 16 frames or 14 frame mid.
or yeah, they reverted the nerf, like they made it 14 frames. But she was a character like who was designed about armor, and she had like a very simplistic design, and obviously needed to be nerfed. And it's okay to have her like charge stuff and kind of like in a Garrus like manner, like to be Garrus, to be to use that example, like gain certain benefits and then use those benefits against the opponent. But she just doesn't get enough perks, so it's just like she kind of ends up being just a character who does nothing, more or less. Like she's still okay. Again, it's a balanced game, but yeah, she just doesn't do enough, and there's no reason really to use her because you might as well just use another better footsie character, because she doesn't get enough perks from her charging mechanic. But she can be easily made better because fundamentally more. Uh, she's fundamentally easier to balance than a character like Quan Chi, right? Franco, you would agree with that, right?
Yeah.
And then for third, I don't know who you would pick up there. Honestly, I would probably put Ashra. What do you think?
Damn, she's that bad.
I would disagree with that, but again, that kind of goes to the like situation of the game's balance. I think like so many people think so many different placements that like than us even sometimes like I
Yeah,
would
after
probably
the
say after like
after the bottom two, after those two, I think it's difficult to determine.
yeah, genuinely is kind of difficult. Like I want to say Sub Zero, but even then, sometimes I might want to say uh, I've had Omni Man in bottom three before. I think in previous patches, or maybe
Really?
not this patch.
He
Maybe
feels like
not
he's
this patch,
so.
but like
It's crazy
I,
playing him. I feel like he's so good. Like good movement, really good mids, good
yeah,
strays.
that's what I mean. It's difficult. Like genuinely, I think I'll probably pick Sub Zero at this time though.
Yeah, when I'm looking at my personal tier list, I have like two characters in D tier, which are the characters we have just discussed, Quan Chi and Tanya. The rest of them is kind of hard to determine because I don't think the other ones are anywhere near, like in the same tier. Essentially, like whatever your list is, it's I think as I keep telling Rio to focus on offense when you discuss this game. Ashra, I when I fought, this was a while ago, granted, when I fought King and King Jr. offline, and when they can, when in which environment that defense can actually shine, you're never gonna hit them with forward three ever. You're just not. It's almost impossible unless they whiff a poke. You will never gonna hit them. So now you have to throw them. When you try to throw them, there's down two, right? Or they can do a huge combo. So it was very, very difficult to break people down with her. And in this game, when you have to throw people too much without having throw combos, you're gonna suffer, man. Like your life is gonna be miserable. So that's the type of issue that I had. So, and her footsies are massively overrated, aside from like forward two, which is a high. And the good players will like duck it and punish it, and then every other normal that she has is kind of like stubby, and it's just it's a hard battle, man. Projectile is too slow. Travels doesn't travel fast or slow enough depending you look at it. I just don't think she's good at
You
all.
could
The
do
best thing
that.
about yeah,
Oh,
the
sorry.
best thing just real quick. The best thing about her is her armor, which has I believe infinite armor. It's like super armor. Like you can never crush it. It's essentially it's unbeatable. So that's the best thing about her. But honestly, unless you're using Mavado, it doesn't really lead into anything. Like who cares about getting hit by it? She's kind of like again, just real quick. I promise. She's the perfect representation of how you're screwed by the cameo system. Because if she could have like Serena and Mavado at the same time, she would be like A tier easily. But obviously she cannot. So so she her the cameo system like kind of ends up hurting her a lot. But go ahead.
And I was gonna respond to what Stodo said in chat. He said a lot of Omni staggers are fake. You can armor between 1 and 2, but no one ever does it. The thing with that is Omni has so many counterplay to that. Like he could stagger one, bait the armor, punish it. He could do 1-2 cancel into his own armor to beat the other armor moves. He could do like one into his parry stance EX to combo some armor moves and block. Like he has a lot of counterplay that. But you never get to that layer of Yomi because most people just don't armor at a 1-2. But to be fair, you kind of have to react quickly to that. It's one of the you have to have a little bit quicker reaction to armor to that compared to some other stuff in the game.
Well, another thing is
But
like
he
I know
has
we
he
just
has ways to counter around that though. It's
well,
people aren't there yet, I guess, where you have to
another
enforce
thing
like mind
is
games on it.
another thing is like most armor in this game sucks. I know we discussed the best, like Kung Lao, Sector, etc. But like keep in mind, like Melina is like close to S tier. If you block her armor, she's punishable. And Omni Man at its peak does like 40-45% combos. Like the wrong can end just literally right there if she has no breakaway. So most armor in this game is really, really bad. Like it's horrible.
I
Aside from
agree.
like Havoc, yeah. Aside from Havoc, Kung Lao, who else? Shang Tsung, but he's low tier. Like again, guys, this the meta of this game is not armor because most armor is
It
garbage.
actually is for some characters. I still
Yeah,
think
it's
Omni
not.
Man's most broken move is his armor.
Yeah, but even his, remember, you cannot really make it safe. It's always punishable. So yeah, you can do your armor, but if I don't know,
No, you can make
Cyrex
it safe. What do you
blocks it.
mean? I've done that before with Madame Bo cameo. They have to. The only punish is like down two.
Yeah, but remember, you can do down to a crushing blow, right?
Right, but they
So
need 2 bars for that.
I know, but you can do like 60% from that. So like that's
Does it launch with
Yeah.
Madam Bo though? Like if you hit it?
no, it
You have to
doesn't.
time it. No, yeah, you have to time it. It's very hard timing, but you can't cover both where it's safe and combo. You have to kind of pick and choose. You can make it either more safe or make it free going for the combo. But
It sounds
honestly,
pretty
Kano
situational.
Cannonball,
So
if you use Kano, which I did use one match on Davis, so you can make his a lot of his YOLO moves, even including the armor, safe with the Cannonball.
Yeah,
it sounds pretty situational. So like it sounds like you
Yeah, well,
can't
that's the
make it
thing.
launch
You're
and
making.
also be like safe at the same time,
Yeah,
which
no, you
sounds
can't. You
pretty
have to
fair.
pick and choose, which is how it should be.
well,
That's why Kung
I'll
Lao's
let.
armor is annoying because he can do both.
Yeah, exactly. Those are like the good armors, and that there are not enough many of the game. There should be more. But anyway,
Bro, I think there needs to be less armor like that, honestly.
fair enough. Sub Zero's kind of in a similar situation. He's fundamentally designed to be like, as Franco was kind of implying, how you could be bottom five. He's essentially like supposed to be like a kind of like a turtling setup zoning character. But his problem is again his overhead. When you fight Franco offline, you will never hit that. Like that will be blocked like 90 to 95% of the time, and you will get massively punished. So and yes, you can make it safe with resources, but just kind of like wasting resources on a move that's reactable. For Sub Zero to win, you kind of have to like randomly dive kick, randomly slide, randomly do back twos, and it can work, and it's very annoying, but it's just not very consistent. King Junior, would you agree?
Yeah, I feel like most of the time, depending on the cameo Sub Zero's using, like he's kind of fishing for armor slide into like chameleon like size to convert, or like armor slide into the fan lift cameo or chameleon like move, or if not that, yeah, like trying to do like something into plus frames like Jade Glaive, and then tries to whiff punish your poke with like instant air dive kick, which is safe unless you up block it. Um, but yeah, he's not like consistently like he's not very consistent in that regard. Like he's usually probably getting punished harder than he's punishing you.
Yeah, and he just cannot generate enough offense. So to make up for that, like he has to, um, kind of base his game around gimmicks. Look, random slide is very very strong in this game, and it's very annoying. But like again, because this game is not MK11, when you hit somebody, they explode. You're gonna do a random slide on Havoc with us 50%. Like go ahead and slide. Like you can do it if you want to, but you can literally lose the round right there, right? So that's
I
such
mean,
like his
depends. Are
problem.
they doing a cameo or not?
Well, there are not that many ways to make his slide safe. They used to be with Chameleon, but they nerfed her a long time ago.
Can't you do
Uh,
Katana fan lift?
you can still punish him,
Yeah, but you have to do
not
like a
as hard.
different air punish, right?
Yeah, well, but Rio, you know they have Kitana, you know they're gonna do it. Why wouldn't they? And at the very worst, you can always uppercut. It's not. I don't think it's that big of a deal. he does the best when he can turtle, hide behind Iceland, ironically, even after all these years. Then I feel like he can do well. But when you force him to come to you, he has a lot of issues because now he has to again uh, do his offense. And keep in mind, guys, his jab that recently just fixed it used to have a gap and it's -7. Like 1-2 used to have a gap and it's -7 and still is. Like you cannot play the game like this. Like he's essentially balanced around the beta Sub Zero still to this day. And again, he represents how the developers were um, incredibly worried about him because of the way he used to play and the way he slows down the match. Um, King Junior, which like give me one or two other characters that you would say. I think it kind of gets tricky from here on.
Yeah. After them, I'd say Peacemaker and Omni Man probably.
Uh, it's difficult to determine. I think Peacemaker could be mid tier because he does have like certain stuff that's kind of like really good, like the Jack stuff or the stuff with Tremor. See, unlike like Sub Zero and Quan Chi or Tanya, like Peacemaker actually has good synergy with the top tier cameos, like Striker, Tremor, to a lesser extent Sector. I have Peacemaker in my mid tier. Um, and Omni Man, this guy attack potency places very very well. I don't know, man. I think those characters are mid tier. To be honest with you, they could be low mid tier, but I think they have results. Unlike Tanya and Quan Chi and Sub Zero, especially offline, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say those characters are worse than like Quan or Tanya, but um, yeah, like I mean, like I said, it just gets really, it genuinely gets like difficult, and
Yeah.
um, like I mean, I don't know who else I would put there. Like I feel like Lee May is better, but I know some people would put Lee May that low. I do think Reptile's like a little slept on still to this day. I wouldn't put Reptile on bottom five, but some people would.
Yeah, so a lot of people saying he's bad.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think this game. To me personally, again, I'm looking at my personal tier list. Like I have D tier, Quan Chi, and Tanya. That I think honestly, any of the other characters could pass as mid tier, including the ones that we have mentioned. And for S tier, I only have three characters. I think Cyrex, Havoc, and Homeland essentially do not have any bad matchups. But then even in S tier, you could probably add, as we have already discussed, you could probably add Reiko in there, probably Scorpion, maybe Sindel, maybe Ermac, Melina, even Johnny Cage. Right? It gets a little bit tricky um, because the matchup chart would determine right who's up there, who actually is not. So it gets really really tricky. So top five we've already discussed. Bottom, I would say bottom two. The other ones are all like questionable and depend on on how the matchup chart would work out.
Man, it's such a shame how Serena's in this game. I was so hype about her. She's just so not like the Serena I liked. And also don't like how they changed her appearance a bit. She just looks not as cool as she looked in Armageddon. Why did they give her boomerangs again with the sights? Like, what is this? Sub-Zero Mythology's trash. Her Armageddon design was so much better. Like, what is this?
I wish they gave more cameo skins out to cameos. Like, I think there should have been way more skins for the cameos. Because I wanted to use, like, MKX Tremor, like, when I use cameo Tremor.
Yeah, you know what I
Like,
wish
I
they
mean,
did for Serena?
it's cool, like, he has the classic skin, but, like, yeah, a lot of skins are
I
lacking on
wish
the cameo side.
they did kind of a chameleon thing with Serena where you get all three sisters of the Brotherhood of Shadow, where you have Kia, Jataka, and Serena, and then you get to shuffle between them which one you want. And the moveset right now that Serena has should have been like Kia's moveset. That would have been perfect. And then they could have gave Serena her actual, things that she's known for. But I would have liked to play the Serena cameo, but it's just not a fan of her moves.
Well, the problem is that I don't think you will agree, but I think Franco will for sure. Some of the cameos are like so like kind of like underpowered, and Serena is one of them. I think forward cameo, King
It's
Junior. I'm
so
sure you would
annoying to
agree.
play
Like,
against, though.
not really,
Bro, you have to sit there and
because
duck these knives for 5 seconds while nothing happens, and then
no,
do it like every
that
10 seconds.
well that should stay the same. I'm talking like the single knife. The cooldown now is fine. I think that should hit mid. Um,
But it makes no sense. It's not even a mid. It's she's throwing it in the sky.
no, no, she's not. It's just the one projectile,
Yeah, but I'm saying it
not the
doesn't
one.
look like a mid projectile. Is what I'm saying.
Well, it should be
She's
changed
throwing
to a
it
mid.
like in like in the high, like in the air.
I understand, but they can still make it mid. Like, you know, that's certain stuff about the game is still like I don't understand why the way it is. Um, for example, Sonia's what is that thing called, the square? Like,
Square
why
wave.
does it have a lot of
Where
yeah square?
wave.
Like, why does it have to do a lot of cooldown for absolutely no reason? Like,
I guess because you're controlling the air and you get a combo if they jump.
okay, control the air. What
But
is
why
that a
would I
bad
use
thing?
that when there's up block? I could do that and get 50% combo unscaled.
Well, not really, because it hits from a much farther range than uplock would. So a
Right, but
lot
if
of the
they're
stuff.
far range, there's no threat in hitting me really, unless they have a dive kick.
Well, yeah, but that's the matchups you would at least use it, and you would probably use her against Natara or something like that. Now it's just like, why would you use her ever? So anyway, there's still like a lot of like questions, like why Goro and Kano remove health? What? Why? For what reason? Excuse me. Like, are we still living in the armor and the like the peacemaker meta? Like, what are you guys doing? Like, Chameleon got over nerfed. Um,
I don't know, Chameleon's annoying. The
no,
unreactable
she's
Melina
not.
overhead everywhere is obnoxious.
Dude, when they do that, they kind of break. That's a huge weakness. That should probably get rid of that.
I mean, does it matter if you
Uh,
can't break the hits most of the time and you get a combo?
no, I'm saying when you
It
punish
feels
her,
like an
like she can.
unreactable overhead, dude.
Yeah, it is.
No,
It is
it is
unreal.
That's
unreactable. It's
like
like
yeah,
18
that's
frames.
it's like everybody becomes MK11 Sub-Zero all of a sudden, and you're getting overhead launch it into full combo. Like, what is this?
Yeah,
But
that
it's
that Molina ball roll used to be more annoying pre-patch. Like it used to be a
Really?
lot harder to punish because it would have
That's
more
crazy, dude.
pushback, and you also couldn't like put Chameleon on a cooldown as
That's one of
easily
the
back then
that's one of the
either.
top 5 cameo moves I do not like playing against. Is that Melina overhead unreactable roll? It's so obnoxious. Dave wants
She's
to
the
buff
only
it.
cameo to have like a unreactable like 50-50, thankfully. So
Yeah, that's
the,
crazy.
the
I'm not
the
a fan of that.
cameos,
I
the
lost
a
so many
lot of
people with
cameos don't
Combat
really
League
do
because they
that.
hit me with an unseeable overhead into full combo with the cameo.
I know it's awkward, but you just have to pay attention to like the way she's changing. I know it's not again. It's like one of those
Yeah, but
things.
bro,
Like,
damn, I have to look at top right of the screen to see what they like.
I know it's super awkward. Like, and I know exactly. This is what I mean. This game, for as much as I give MK11 a hard time for being counterintuitive, this game definitely has some of that.
Bro, if I have to
See,
stare in the
that's the
corner of
more.
the screen to see what they have, that is annoying as hell. How about they put it under like the time or something so it's easy to see?
No, I think that's a good point. See, I like nuanced conversations, like about, oh, this is scrubby. Let's scream at the internet for like
But I
an
literally
hour.
just
Like,
said Chameleon Scrubbium overhead, and
no,
now you're agreeing that there should be a change made to see it easier.
no, I think it's already just pay attention. Like, I like nuanced conversations instead of screaming at the screen for like an hour about something being scrubby. Like, Camille is not scrubby. I think she's kind of on the weaker side. Um, and I think she should get some buffs. And maybe certain stuff could
Yeah,
be
no, I'm
maybe
sorry,
splitting.
but she don't need buffs. Sorry, the other characters have been waiting in line since day one. She had her time.
Well, she didn't have a time for long enough, I would say. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that instead of calling something scrubby, I guess to wrap it up, like I like nuanced conversations about what should be changed. Let's talk about specifics because again, scrubby doesn't mean anything. It just
That's
means
what
you
we've
lost
been
to
talking
somebody.
about specifics in the beginning. I've been talking about why up block is bad, how it should be changed. Like everything was specifically detailed for you.
No, but also like characters as well. Like, um, you know, we talked about
I mean, all the
armor and
characters feel kind of the same, so I'm not sure what there is to change. They're either doing mix-ups on you or full combos, and yeah, depending what cameo they're using.
well, there could be more
Seems like
variety.
everyone in the game is really doing 40-50% combos.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think that's actually a good thing.
I mean, I guess if you want to make every character play similar as possible.
I mean, what do you want? Like, characters do like 20% combos, like MK11, that just
Some characters
resulted
should
in
be doing
disaster.
that. Yeah, that's called a character design. Remember Doomsday in Injustice 1? He was not doing combos like that. He was killing you off like
Yeah, that's
10%
why
hits.
yeah, that's why he was
He
low
wasn't
tier.
low tier. He was like the bottom of top 10 in Injustice 1. What do you mean?
King Junior, didn't you just
Nah,
make a video?
man. In 2020, if I could fucking talk, in modern times, he's like one of the most overrated
Doomsday
characters in my
isn't in the
opinion.
bottom of top 10 Injustice 1. He was like under like Wonder Woman or Superman or whatever. He's like not top
Well,
tier, but he's like at the
that
bottom
I
of top
mean,
10.
I mean, the game was only like fleshed out for 2 years, and that was like, I mean, I think a lot of people just couldn't block Earthshake back then.
Well, yeah,
I
when it
think
was a
he's like
just frame on media, of course. If you can't do the just frame, you're gonna get hit by it.
Oh, King Junior
he's
talked about how you
he's
can
like he's like bottom
reverse.
10 nowadays.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I could yap all day about Injustice One. Don't even get me started on
Okay, hold
Injustice
on.
One.
Name all the characters better than him then. Now I'm curious.
All right, hold on. Let me pull up my tier list maker because you got me going now. So he's so the character's better than him. And I'm not gonna name the S tiers because that's like kind of implied. Uh, Deathstroke, Superman, Wonder Woman, Catwoman, Batman, Lobo, Atom, Green Lantern, Nightwing, Bane, Lex, Shazam, Grundy, Killer Frost, Zatanna, Raven, and then Doomsday is on
I
the B
don't
tier.
agree with Raven and Shazam.
Oh, dude, Shazam's got some dirt, even stuff that even Digit wasn't doing back then. But I'll
Yeah, I
send
know
this
he's
to
got
you.
damage and annoying wake ups, but I don't know about dude. Doomsday was so easy to play. Like you couldn't even drop anything he did in matches.
But even at the highest level, like you weren't gonna open
And
up
he also
like
had one of the rare things that people wish they had in that game. He had a consistent anti-air. That was rare as fuck.
yeah, I mean
That shit
that
was
consistent
rare. Like when
anti-air
you were playing, they were like, "Damn, I have this. Oh shit."
that consistent anti-air though, it didn't give you much reward ever.
Yeah, but I mean, it gave you a good knockdown. It was like plus 30 into a free dash out.
but what's he gonna do with that knockdown? Throw you or sweep you?
Shaker, and hope you don't wake up because all the wake ups are invincible.
Another thing too, yeah, I mean, yeah, those weren't really rewarding things though. And
Yeah, well, I mean, that game had
another
a terrible
thing,
wake up system too.
too is his hyper armor is like kind of overrated, and his
Yeah, it was trash for some characters like Flash, Aquaman, and some others. Like really bad.
there's like a mechanic that kind of goes like hidden, but like long story short, you know how Doomsday could reverse your wake ups if he forward dash at the right time in the
Yeah, but he
corner.
was minus when he did that, which people didn't know.
Um, you you can actually throw off that forward dash like anti wake up tech because you have two windows you can do your wake up attack in Injustice 1 and 2.
That's
Uh,
correct.
if you do late wake up,
Yeah,
then
you do
it'll
the
just
delayed wake up, which I remember we were complaining about. How they were like, just stuff Catwoman's wake up. We're like, bitch, she could do it slightly delayed, and then your down one doesn't work. And you have to do it like, this is dumb. The wake up system is trash. And then they got rid of it for Injustice 2, where you couldn't delay any
yeah.
different wake up timings.
No, it still exists in Injustice 2 actually.
Really?
Yeah,
I
but
thought they fixed that.
but that hurts Doomsday is what I'm trying to say. So that's another reason why I think he's overrated. So he's trying to fish for his unsafe down three, like unless he super spaces it well, and then he has to land like his unreactable Earthshake, like which is, I mean, the damage you get off his sweep and his Earthshake, and his air grab, like they just don't really. You just can't compete with the top tiers with what he has, in my opinion.
I trust King Junior because even after the game had died, his brother and and he have been putting a lot of work in. And I tried fighting them even with Zod. I just had no chance. They just completely blew me up. So they're probably the only people in the world, the only players in the world who kind of continued expanding, evolving the meta of the game. And I trust the word.
What's funny is
About
Doomsday was a character I was maining when I stopped playing Injustice 1, when I would play casually.
yeah.
Because he's so easy and low effort to play. But he has so many annoying matchups, like random other shit characters like Hawkgirl or Killer Frost are annoying as hell for him.
Well, Injustice One is a game. I don't want to rant too much,
With
but
terrible movement and terrible hinter. And a god awful wake up system.
that none of those things are my concern. Even though I think you're right, it's fundamentally a low level of power. Aside from like the top 5 or 6 who are completely insane, right? We already know who those characters are. If you play the game, you don't have to mention them. But like everybody else, it's just like, why is Aquaman in the same game as Cyborg?
Oh, dude, I forgot Cyborg even
Why?
exists in that game. That
I know.
character's so
Like,
bad.
why
But
is
weird. That was the character I was maining in Injustice 2. I liked him a lot better in Injustice 2 before
yeah.
I stopped playing, but he was my
Why is
main.
Sinestro in the same game as like Hawkgirl? Like, it's just like MK9. Like the balance just doesn't make any sense.
Hawkgirl's very
And unless
polarizing. Like she's not good against top tiers, but she shuts down some characters really bad.
the only character who actually matters, in terms of like actually counterpicking on the top tier is Lex. And I say this as somebody who has seen, who has watched King and King Jr. play, right? And literally, I was like celebrating, beat that Martian with that Lex, beat the crap out of him. It was so hilarious. I was drunk, but man, oh man,
Yeah,
that,
it
that,
was like National Beat Martian Manhunter holiday
I
for
know, yeah,
Cade.
yeah.
Who's
I was like
this?
cheering, like watching a football game,
Who's
but like,
Martian? Jupiter?
no, it was King against King Jr. King Jr.
Oh.
was using,
Yeah,
yeah.
these are offline games at Dave's
So
house.
this is
Oh, okay, okay,
offline,
I
yeah.
see.
I was just like cheering, like, let me see this matchup, and it was just hilarious seeing like Martian suffer for like the first time ever. So I think Lex is the only. By the way, can probably do the similar thing to Aquaman, um, but obviously gets blown up by Zod and Sinestro and Flash, except maybe a couple other characters. But
You know what's
anyway,
funny? The character I hated playing it's the most in just one was Flash. I thought he was the scrubbiest character.
yeah, tell me about it, man. I remember fighting my cousin and like they would activate the trait at the beginning of the round immediately, and just like
Coming
you're
with a
not gonna
million
guess
50
why.
50s, and it's like, cool.
I know you get like it kind of reminds me of Sento, except there's like almost no execution. So just like you would like eventually guess wrong, they get the bar,
And that
and
character
they
do
probably
fat combos into 50% too.
yeah, and into like yeah, exactly like into vortex.
His neutral was so
Man,
annoying with Torpedo that was plus on some characters. It's like, dude, what is this launching move from full screen? That's plus on block on some characters. Like, what is this?
yeah, it was something else. Yeah, I believe when the EX torpedo jailed you, you automatically like probably lost seven
Yeah, that
three.
happened to Doomsday, I believe, in some it was awful.
King Jr.,
I
would you agree with
I
that? Right?
remember I was playing CD Junior's Flash, and I was like, bro, this character is
Yeah,
so annoying.
that's one of the reasons why Bane lost 3-7 in that matchup was because of Torpedo.
Yeah, if it jailed you, again, the second hit,
That
right?
had to have been the most
Of
scrubby move in Injustice, which is crazy because Injustice 1 was full of scrubby moves, but that torpedo move was probably one of the scrubbiest launchers I've ever seen.
yeah, if it jailed you, it was like that had to have been an
I think it was
oversight.
plus 2.
I think it was more than that, right? Was it
Like
not?
it was also a plus or something. It was like a plus full screen launcher.
King Jr. was it more than +2? Or was it just +2?
Yeah. I remember when I was
I
playing
honestly
Zyfox
don't
and
remember
stuff.
the exact number. I think it
Yeah.
was +2 or 3.
Yeah, Zyfox used to annoy me. He had a really good flash also, and his flash was annoying to play against.
Yeah, for me personally, obviously I had to go with Martian. He was a piece of trash.
Oh my god,
Then-
dude. Remember how scrubby Martian's teleport with?
Yeah, it was-
He could just do it, and
Guys,
it's like, what is this?
Lord Parlo, what was your up lock in that game, bro? We could have used the up
Oh
lock.
my god, maybe that's why we have uplock now.
I know. Now we have Peacemaker doing the same thing except it doesn't launch, but it's still annoying. Like, come
Do
on,
you know
man!
who
Like,
has Martian's old overhead teleport? Omni Man. That's the first thing I realized when I was using him. He has a launching
No.
overhead teleport, but you have to cameo
No,
to combo
bro.
after it.
And animation wise, yeah.
not speed wise. I don't. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, well, you have
It's
to come
like-
to stance to do it.
It's such a silly thing to design such a move, and then like the game doesn't really give you any options to do with. Like it would. It
Remember,
would have been
people
okay.
were
if
like, just
you
meter
stopped-
burn back 3, and we're like, okay, let's meter burn. Let's randomly back 3 against Martian and footsies.
Dude, I remember. Speaking of meter burn and do stuff on reaction. Remember?
Wasn't it Raw
Pre-
Helios that was like you can meter burn back 3 in that reaction or something? We're like, what are you
No,
talking about?
I'll give you a better. Remember Zoidberg from Test Your Might?
Oh yeah, so I
Yeah.
think it was Zoe. He was like, Mario, the teleport's not good. You can just meter burn back 3 on reaction every time. I remember somebody was saying that.
But remember, this was with Scorpion, like pre-patch Scorpion. Like,
Oh
guys,
yeah,
it's not a big
bro.
deal.
You couldn't even move against that character.
It's like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
where you getting the meter from back 3 at?
These fighting game theorists at their best were like, yeah, I'm testing it in practice mode. Like, yeah, you're testing it in practice mode. But like, well, that's the only option you're accounting for. How about like the other 10 options? It's like these people have never played fighting games in their lives before. Like, dude, you're not meter boarding their stuff. Like when he's jumping around, dashing, throwing, like it's so silly.
Yeah, that's crazy to say. Just do that against them.
Yeah. But anyway, folks, let's wrap it up here. It's about midnight. Um, I would love to bring back Franco. aka King Jr. have like a Injustice One conversation. I do think there's some value in revisiting some of the older games because obviously a combo breaker, almost all of them will be featured. So I think there's some
No,
value in
literally
this.
all of
Yeah,
them.
Franco
Like
told me that.
Yeah.
NRS wise, NRS.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah, yeah.
Franco told me that they're gonna have every NRS game there, which is a lot. It's like what,
MK9 through MK1. That's
yeah,
6.
that's
Yeah.
a lot of games.
And I know I'm gonna watch. I may not be there because of my schedule, but I would love to watch all of them and be informed about the latest
Really a shame
meta.
that Justice 1 and MK9 don't have a rollback.
Yeah, yeah. They probably never will, unfortunately, and I think we kind of have to deal with that. Folks, gentlemen, let's kind of wrap it up here, and maybe we're about I don't know, maybe 2.5 hours in. I think it's appropriate. Um, thank you guys for so much for listening. We want to thank King Junior for being able to come on short notice. Hopefully next time we can have Cherney on and discuss more things. I know there have been a couple of people who have contacted us, and Rio knows more. You guys want to come on, be guests. We promise we'll do our best to accommodate you guys. Depending on the schedule, you can send us not an email, but send us a message on Discord, and we'll try our best to accommodate you guys, get you on. We're not. We don't mean to ignore everybody. Anybody. We try to. We will try our best to have you guys on. Rio, just I mean, you give the last word, especially on that topic.
Yeah, well, before I do that, any closing statements by Franco?
No, I just I can yap about NRS games all day, and I don't mind coming back on, whether it's on short notice or scheduled, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, because I got my new computer. Just real quick, it's a little off topic, but I got my new computer right before January, so I'm kind of getting I had Dave send me Outbreak and stuff today, and then I have the other emulator for DA set up. I just have to do my controls and get the right memory card. So when I get that set up, maybe we can run some DA online.
Ooh, yeah, I still haven't ran it yet
up.
with Tom. I gotta figure out if
you guys haven't played yet.
Hopefully we still haven't played yet. He's
the game is actually
dude,
pretty fun for an old game. It's like very footsie and neutral based. I'm not just throwing that word out there, but that's the best way to describe it. Like the game is very like footsie based. If you like the ground based game where you're playing footsies a lot, you're probably like DA. It's fast paced.
Yeah, I've played it before, just not competitively. And
it's
I don't
super
know
easy
if,
to pick up and learn. I could teach you in like 5 minutes.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I just hope that.
I mean, what character are you looking to play in that game? Like Reptile, like what character?
Jackson Shuhao. Shit, I missed the whistle right there.
Jax is pretty fun in that game. I could show you him. He's got like the most annoying. He has like an Aquaman Trident Rush special. It chips people and it's completely safe on block. You just spam that
Piston
over and over.
Punch.
Yeah, it's completely safe on block. Does like 8% chip. So every time they do something and you take your turn back, if they don't like backdash get away from you, you can keep doing that and chip them to death.
Yeah, and then
he's like a weird chip out character.
Yeah, I just hope our memory cards are compatible. That's the only thing I'm wondering about. But
yeah,
I have
honestly
things set up
that's the only thing I need left. I have the emulator and MKDA. I just need a memory card because I don't have any of the characters unlocked.
I see.
Yeah.
The other character would be Suhao.
Yeah, I also need a memory card for Outbreak too. But anyway,
emulation is not the move, man. I really hope they remaster these games.
Yeah, I know. We need like actual. I would love to see like a MKDA remaster or Outbreak remaster because using these emulators is honestly annoying. I'm not a fan of them.
They can't even remaster the older games.
Yeah, well, it's hard because I'm sure they were made on this like outdated technology, and the way that they program them is just they're not very good these days. Like, imagine trying to reprogram MK9 in today's time with GGPO. Good luck digging through that horrendous game code to try to fix everything and add rollback to it. I mean, somebody could do it out there, but probably a lot of effort that they don't want to deal with right now. Anyway, to go into closing, this has been episode 58. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out, everybody.